We have the tornado warning. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for eastern Cattaraugus, southwestern Livingston, and Allegany counties until 1:45 p.m. But we want to stick with this tornado warning because this is an extremely serious situation. And Mary Beth, if you can zoom in between Evans and Brant right here, and let's look at that area what is moving off toward the east. You saw the circulation right there. The cell was over North Collins. Now it's moving off toward the east near Evans, Pontiac, Eden, along the thruway, along Route 62, and also along Route 20. These are areas where the tornado could impact. Again, it has been spotted, so you want to take shelter now. Take cover now, move to the basement if you can. Stay away from windows. Most injuries occur from flying debris. Perhaps you're watching out, you want to see what's going on, and then boom, a tree branch comes through the window, and that's where the injuries will occur. So this is the area right now that is moving off toward the northeast at 45 miles per hour. Places like Evans, Eden, Angola, North Collins, Evangola State Park, Derby, Angola on the Lake, North Boston, Farnham, and Langford. The cell is 11 miles to the southwest of Hamburg, moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. Maybe zoom out a bit and see if the red, that's the tornado warning, has been extended. Nope, not to Hamburg just yet. Just to the south of Hamburg, heading over toward Eden, right along the thruway right now. So let's take a look at the thruway. This is 57A, where you can hardly see a thing with that rain coming down right now. The tornado spotted on the ground is near this area. So it's moving to the northeast. It's near North Collins, moving northeasterly, to the at 45 miles per hour, 11 miles to the southwest of Hamburg. There's a view right now of the exit 57A camera shot. Hard to see anything. It's very dark. The rain's coming down very heavily. And folks here on the thruway could be driving, unfortunately, into a tornado, especially if you're coming from Buffalo and heading southward.
We have a little bit of rotation around Pontiac right now. If we can go back to the radar, you can see an early indication of a funnel cloud developing in that area. So this could be a come and go sort of situation with a funnel cloud and a touchdown. But very, very strong, heavy downpours. I would say maybe a ½ inch of rain in a short period of time in this area. So there could be some flash flooding in some areas too, Aaron.
Flooding is a concern today. Flooding will be a major concern as these storms roll through. Right now, that's southwestern Erie County. Tornado warning in effect until 12:45 p.m. You see the circulation there on the screen near Pontiac, just past Brant and Evans, Eden and Hamburg, right along the thruway there, along Route 20 and 62. Those are areas where you need to take shelter now. This is occurring. This has been spotted on the ground, so you want to take shelter immediately with that tornado warning that has been issued. Again, that is for southwestern Erie County until 12:45. The Weather Service will give us another update shortly, and we're doing this all in real time, so you can see it on the TV as this is unfolding. This is a damaging tornado that is making its way off toward the northeast. And right now, Orchard Park, North Boston, Hamburg, folks need to be prepared. If this were to hold together, it would be passing through your area. Now we have a view of the Hamburg Fairgrounds. We can pop that up. And notice the sky looking very ominous right now, kind of the quiet before the storm. Just some lightning right before we took the shot. So that lightning is getting closer. You can actually see a little blue in the sky. MB, I don't know if you can see any green right now.
I don't see any green, but it just looks like the cloud is really dense, so it has that dark appearance. But sometimes where the tornado is, you'll see that greenish tint to the sky. I've seen it when I lived in the Midwest in St. Louis. The sky typically turned green when we had tornado outbreaks and tornadoes in general. But really the sound, listening is probably even more important than seeing, because you will hear that low rumble that sounds like a freight train in the distance and coming closer and closer if a tornado is heading for your neighborhood. So those are good indicators.
Definitely. That is a really, really good point. If you hear what sounds like a freight train coming toward you, get into the basement right away, as that sound is indicative of a tornado making its way towards your area. And we have the tornado warning in effect until 12:45 p.m. That is a confirmed tornado located right over North Collins, now moving off past North Collins, moving toward the northeast. You can see it on the radar near Pontiac, now near Eden
Now
and
Eden,
Derby
yeah,
and Lakeview.
Eden's seeing a little bit of rotation right now.
Yeah, you can see how that just jumped off toward the northeast. So Brant, North Collins, the storm is now to your northeast, moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So like we mentioned, Hamburg, North Evans, heads up as this storm is heading toward you. South Buffalo Street, Lakeview Road along the thruway. Right now, the storm is near West Church Street in Eden. So I want to give you the heads up there as that cell is passing.
I wouldn't be
right
surprised if this warning gets extended farther north into Orchard Park and Hamburg, because it's moving so fast. It's already, the rotation is in Eden and it's moving so quickly outside the warning area.
Oh, I agree. I agree with you. That's why we want to give the people along South Buffalo Street there in Hamburg, McKinley Parkway, Cloverbank Road, Lakeview Road. If you live in those areas, you want to take shelter and do it now as this storm is moving off toward the northeast very quickly at 45 miles per hour. And this is a tornado that was spotted by a spotter, not on the radar. This was located by a train spotter who saw the actual funnel come from the sky and make contact with the ground. That's when the tornado was reported. And you have a lot of lead time as the storm continues to race off toward the northeast at 45 miles per hour. Again, Eden, Lakeview, Derby, that's an area right now where the storm is. And this is moving off toward the northeast at 45 miles per hour. Here's a view, a lot. And exit. And again, notice just how dark and ominous those skies look. Cloud tops are very, very high as this storm continues to move quickly to the northeast at around 45 miles per hour. This is a confirmed tornado on the ground. Again, we're passing through Evans, Eden, Angola, North Collins, Evangola State Park, Derby, Angola on the Lake, North Boston, Farnham, and Langford. Those are areas you want to take cover now. Get to the basement if you can. If you don't have a basement, get into an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. Cannot emphasize that enough. You want to avoid windows. If you're outdoors in a mobile home, get to the closest shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. That's what happens. Most injuries occur from flying debris. As we have the rotation right now, you're seeing on the screen, looks like North Evans, Eden, Eden Valley, this area right here along Route 62, moving off toward the northeast, heading toward Hamburg. Now, the tornado warning has not been, boom, just happened.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, let's see. We said the warning would most likely be extended, and it has.
Wow.
Let me just breathe this to you. It's just coming in.
Yeah.
This is a reported tornado located over Eden or near Hamburg, moving to the northeast now at 40 miles per hour. Cheektowaga, West Seneca, Lancaster, Hamburg, East Aurora, Alma, Boston, Eden, Orchard Park, and Wales Center. You folks take shelter now. Repeating this, tornado is on the ground. Take cover now, move to a basement or an interior room. Avoid the windows. If you're outdoors, get to a shelter. Now, torrential rainfall coming down with this storm as well. That is a live view from the fairgrounds. It looks like a whiteout, like you'd see a blizzard in the wintertime. But yeah, and a few minutes ago, you could see some sun breaking through the clouds. So let's go back to the weather computer. I want to show you where that cell is. Go ahead,
This
MB.
warning is good till 1:15 p.m.
That's right.
Extends all the way up into Alma Center.
Yes, for Central Erie County until 1:15. Want to take that street level? And we'll go street level, show you where the circulation is. And it's right near Hamburg right now. And it's moving off. We'll go get some streets so folks, there we go, are able to take shelter. Evans, Lakeview Road, Water Valley, Hamburg, Huntington Court, near Scranton. This area right now is where the tornado is on the ground. So you've got the time in front of it to seek shelter. Stay away from windows. This tornado warning in effect until 1:15 p.m. And that is for Central Erie County. We told you earlier it would most likely be extended to Hamburg. The Weather Service did that right while we were live on the air as it's moving off toward the east. Lakeview Road, East Eden Road, there's Route 62. You have the thruway right there. Traveling along the thruway during this storm is going to be treacherous as it races off toward the east at around 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, so South Creek Road and Chattagee Road now being impacted, and it's heading up toward Lakeview Road right now.
Yeah, so again, this is spotted. This isn't something that the radar is picking up. This is an actual person who has spotted this. This is on the ground. Tornado located over Eden near Hamburg, moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. We have the Hamburg Thruway camera live. Let's take a look at that if we can. And look at the rain coming down. So you have torrential downpours right there. I mean, hopefully we don't see the tornado coming across the thruway, but it's certainly a possibility as this rain is coming down. You can hardly see a thing. And again, Mary Beth, what should people do if they hear that sound of that train heading toward them?
Well, what you want to listen for is for a low, loud rumble, like a deep rumble. It sounds like a freight train in the distance, and it gets louder if it's coming toward your area. But I also think if you look to the sky, sometimes it has a greenish tint, and that means there's hail and severe thunderstorms with it that can produce tornadoes. So those are good indicators. But really, you want to go to your basement or the lowest floor of your home. In an interior room like a bathroom or a closet, you want to stay away from windows. And on the way, because you don't have time to move, grab a pillow, grab blankets. If you can, grab a mattress to cover your head from any falling debris. Now, if you live in a mobile home, you need to get out. Get out, go to your mobile home shelter, or get out and lie flat in a ditch. Same if you're in a car too. If you see a tornado heading to your area, get out of your car and lie flat in a ditch. It's better to do that than be in your car because you could be swept up into the storm. But I would also alert your senior neighbors, or if you have any neighbors that have disabilities in your neighborhood, tell them about this and how to prepare themselves as well and take action, because you don't have a lot of time. So Aaron, now this rotation is now moving into Hamburg right now. All right, so we're gonna zoom in for you. Here we go. Here's some Route 75. Isn't that Camp Road? It looks like it's moving toward Camp Road right now, between Lakeview and Camp Road.
Yes, McKinley towards Scranton Road, right by the fairgrounds, Abbott Road. These are all areas where the storm is getting much, much closer. Legion Drive, like you mentioned. If you're along 62, 75, Buffalo Street, take shelter now. This is moving through a pretty populated area of Hamburg, and this is a tornado that's been reported on the ground. So this is not just Doppler radar indicated. This is one that has been reported on the ground. You can see the circulation on the screen right there from our radar. And we are tracking this as it went from Eden near Hamburg, moving off toward the northeast at 40 miles per hour. There's McKinley Parkway right there. There's the cell moving off toward the northeast. Again, this has been spotted. So this is the tornado warning. Weather spotters confirmed a tornado. This isn't just the radar. This is an actual visible confirmation of this tornado. Cheektowaga, West Seneca, Lancaster, Hamburg, East Aurora, Alma, Boston, Eden, Orchard Park, Wales Center. On the thruway between exit 57 and 57A. That's where the cell is right now. And again, this is a tornado on the ground right in Hamburg near the fairgrounds, moving off toward the northeast. What you're looking for right here is kind of this, what you call a hook echo. And that's what you're seeing here as this moisture kind of wraps around. It's a bounded weak echo region. And there's
Aaron,
the weak echoes right there.
Look at all the intense lightning. Lightning can kill you. Again, stay away from your windows. And if you're outside, get inside right now, because lightning does not fool around with you.
Exactly.
This is really, really heavy rain in that dark red. I wouldn't be surprised to see some low-lying, like maybe some flooding, ponding on the roadway, or maybe even some basement flooding here too, because this is intense rain and intense lightning. There's many, many lightning strikes in this area.
Yeah, we don't see any lightning strikes right now on our Skywatch view out over the lake, but the storm is just 2 hours south.
Yeah.
Beth, can you zoom out on that radar a bit? I want to show you that hook echo that we're looking for. And notice it's right, you can see kind of what you're looking for is this hook. And that's where the tornado would be, right in that area, moving off through Hamburg and moving off toward the northeast. You can see the circulation right there. And again, places like Marilla, you don't have the warning right now. That could change. This has been holding itself together for quite some time, starting in Chautauqua County, moving into southwestern Erie County, and then making its way through Hamburg near Orchard Park as well. East Aurora is under the gun there. And we're looking at the Hamburg Fairgrounds live right now. Let's go there.
Yeah, that is a nasty scenario right now. And there's intense lightning in that area. There's so many lightning strikes here. And it looks like there's hail right now. Doppler is indicating some small to medium-sized hail in the region. You can actually see the hail too. Do you see it on the lower right-hand corner of your screen?
It's tough to see. It looks like it's bouncing around.
Yeah, it looks like there's some hail mixed in with the rain there.
Yeah, and you had a car go through it. Looked like a pond. So the water coming down very, very quickly. Like you mentioned, it will accumulate very quickly on the roads. So you have the flooding to deal with. You have a dangerous situation with this tornado that has been spotted on the ground. You know what? I'm just going to ask, hey, Michael and Taylor, if you guys have any updates or anything that's coming on social media, feel free to chime in, as you're probably getting the more real-time stuff from the viewers.
Yeah, I mean, we've both been monitoring just posts people have done. There are certainly videos out there that are circulating. It's hard to know for sure and to confirm them in real time what they are, but there are certainly videos that have been posted on social media seeming to show a tornado on the ground, Hamburg,
Eden area. I'm seeing a really, the video of, this is Hamburg Beach you're seeing here right now. This is Hamburg Beach. Look how ominous those clouds look.
Yeah. The calm before
the
storm.
And the seagulls look a little confused right now.
I know. I saw some ducks on the pond earlier in Chautauqua, and I was like, oh no, you guys take cover.
What's
we are
dramatic,
getting videos, though, you were saying?
We are seeing some videos. There are storm chasers, by the way, who have been following the remnants of Beryl all the way from Texas, now up here into western New York. And so they've documented twisters, across multiple states. This is the Hamburg Fairgrounds. And what's fascinating, as we've monitored all these cameras this afternoon, is how quickly the conditions change. Look at the blue skies there. A moment ago, you couldn't see hardly anything. We've noticed that on the thruway cameras as well. Earlier in Irving, it went from pretty much nothing to what looked like a whiteout.
You couldn't even see cars driving on the thruway, and then you give it 3-4 minutes, and then all of a sudden you can see the standstill and the cars go through. The storm just moving so quickly at the thruway.
One question that I have for you, Aaron, is you talked about it moving 45 miles an hour. I mean, is this a fast-moving storm, or is this something we would expect to see?
It's racing northeast at about 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's a quick-moving storm. Like you said, it's moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So you do have a lot of lead time. Places like Elma, Jameson Road there, East Aurora, Orchard Park, heads up. You'll notice that dark red on the screen, approaching Blaisdell, right near Hamburg, and then it kind of hooks back near Hamburg. That is where the tornado actually is, and this has been spotted on the ground by spotters as it moves off toward the northeast, like you said, until 1:15 p.m. The warning is in effect.
We have some other very strong thunderstorms developing now in western Niagara County. You can see this line coming through. There's an indication of some rotation in here, and there has been some hail as well. So if you live in Lewiston, in Niagara Falls, even in Grand Island, keep an eye to the sky here, because this is a nasty storm coming through. Even the Buffalo metro area could see a little bit of twisting and turning, some damaging wind gusts coming through now, coming in from the west. These are very, very fast moving thunderstorms that have torrential downpours that could create some flash flooding and dangerous lightning too. Look at all the dangerous lightning around Hamburg too. There are just numerous lightning strikes from Hamburg over towards Aurora as well.
What they're looking at. This is Blaisdell right now.
You can see that car camped out right under that overpass, waiting out this part of the storm. Is that hail in the bottom there?
It does look like there's hail falling. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, Blaisdell, that's a scary place to be right now. You can see the hail. Hardly see anything because the rain's coming down so heavily. And that's, some of the fear with the tornadoes. They get wrapped up in this very heavy rain, and sometimes you can't see it. So you got to pay very close attention to what we're telling you with the radar showing where the storm is. And also, we've had visible confirmation from our spotters. So weather spotters have confirmed a tornado. The warning continues until 1:15 p.m. That's for central Erie County, places like Wales and East Aurora and Elma, Lancaster, West Seneca. Look at all of the lightning associated with this as it moves off toward the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So it's moving pretty quickly. We have some storms just to the west of Buffalo and across western Niagara County. All of western New York under a tornado watch. That's what the pink is, or the reddish pink. That's in effect until 9 p.m. And there's that warning right now. Now, the Weather Service kind of been updating it every about 10 minutes or so. This last warning came out at 12:44, so we should see another warning or update if this is going to be extended off toward the northeast. There's the warning right there. And then, Mary Beth, this is a severe
thunderstorm warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Cat County into all of Allegany County. So we're seeing a strong cell right now in central Allegany County. These are moving to the northeast very quickly at about 45 miles an hour. Now near Warsaw, we're seeing a little bit of hail developing too. We don't have a warning there, but we got some rotation around Warsaw right now. Also a little bit of rotation in central Cat County here too. Around Machias, we're seeing a little bit of rotation, and near Orangeville as well. So if you live in these areas, take cover as well. Even if you don't have a warning right now, these are indicators that severe weather is heading your way.
Yeah, so in Orchard Park along 20A, you want to be, get into shelter quickly as you can. Baker Road, Webster Road, New Taylor Road, South Lincoln Avenue, California Road by the stadium. The storms are making their way through your area right now. It is a serious situation with that center of circulation right now. Moving off toward the northeast. This at 40 miles per hour. This is the 219, Jeff? By the 90. Wow. Again, you can hardly see a thing. In the wintertime, this would look blizzard-like. As we take a look at that, right now, look at a truck pulling off to the side of the road saying, you know what? I can drive through anything, but I'm not driving through this.
You know what? He's a smart man. That's what everybody should be doing right now, is pulling off to the side of the road in a volatile situation like this when we have a tornado warning.
Yeah, and we are seeing some damage across the area from these storms. Arkwright has trees down and lines are down, roof damage in the town of Arkwright as well on Henry Road and Putnam Road. In that general area, a number of trees and power lines are down. Some back roads are not passable. Nobody injured in Chautauqua County, but we do have some trees damaged, some roof damage, and also a lot of power lines down and some back roads that are impassable. And look at that, just as we showed you this view of the 219 by the 90, and then once the storm passes, things start to clear out a bit. Still have not seen this red box on your screen. That is the tornado warning passing right near Orchard Park, moving off toward the east. So MB, why don't we zoom in to this area right here? You can see West Seneca right there, and there's Alma Center as we move off toward the northeast with this cell. We take the like this area right here is the main concern as we move easterly near Route 277. It's Herald Square along the 219. You just saw the camera shot there showing how things are starting to improve just a bit as now we have Ebenezer in our sights over toward Elma, westward along 20, Route 16 right there. So along the 400, be prepared to travel very slowly on the 400 as this cell moves across the area. So we have that tornado warning in effect until 1:15 p.m. And I'm seeing if there is an update from the Weather Service. Again, they've been kind of updating every 10 to 15 minutes. So we're due to see what's going to happen next as this cell moves off toward the northeast at around 40 miles per hour. This is a cell that has been confirmed visually. So it's not just on the radar here. Train spotters have seen the tornado on the ground. This is a long-lasting storm. The longer they last, makes me think the stronger they are. Look at that. That is the 400. We just said that travel on the 400 would be tough. That is the 400 near Union Road. Look at that hail coming down.
Wow, that's incredible.
Just to let you guys know, I just heard from Jeff Russo, who was at Highmark Stadium. I just tried to pull up the live webcam that's at the stadium. Unfortunately, it's down right now, perhaps because of the weather. Jeff just went through that area and said it was hailing right by Highmark Stadium. So widespread hail, apparently.
Did he say it was, I'm assuming he said it was very scary and difficult to drive through?
You know what? He said, I was just Highmark Stadium, just experienced hail. So
okay.
That's all
Thanks,
I got.
Jeff. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So now you saw the 400 right there near Union. So folks getting in Elma along Bowen Road, along 354 and Blossom, Jameson Road, heads up as this storm along Route 16 makes its way towards you. We see the view on the 400 near Union, and things are going downhill very, very fast. This cell just to the east of Lackawanna, now moving, looks to the northeast of Orchard Park, again, and that 400 Union area. You want to seek shelter immediately. Take cover now. This is a serious situation. It's a tornado that's been reported on the ground, so not just from the radar. Weather spotters confirm this. Flying debris will be very, very dangerous to those who are caught without shelter in this storm. As it continues its movement to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. The warning in effect until 1:15 p.m. for central Erie County. Notice now, especially near Elma, as this cell moves off toward the northeast. We're going to look at the 400 near transit if we could. Well, normally you can see things there, but not the case right now. Torrential downpours, strong winds, hail, and possibly a tornado in this area. Again, the tornado moving off toward the northeast at 40 miles per hour. This is a tornado on the ground. You want to take cover now, get to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. Cannot emphasize that enough. If there's a tornado, you hear what sounds like a train, you see the sky turning green, and it's approaching your neck of the woods. Don't go take a video of it to post later. Be safe. Most injuries occur from flying debris hitting windows, and that's how people get injured. So there's that red box right there. That is the one that has the tornado warning. The pink for all of Western New York, that is the tornado watch, which is in effect for everyone until 9 p.m. We have severe thunderstorm warnings for eastern Cattaraugus County and Allegany County, and the warning across portions of western Erie County as well. Again, we're zooming in right there. We have the storm with some hail. There's the circulation right near 16 and the 400. There's the 400. There's 16, in that merging area near Elma, West Seneca. Moving toward 354, heading toward Route 20, Town Line, Lancaster, Marilla.
You could be next.
Yeah, definitely. As this is moving off to the northeast at 40 miles per hour, you have plenty of time to get into the basement, seek shelter, and again, stay away from windows. Get a sturdy spot in the house, and if you want to protect yourself, you can put some blankets or even some pillows on top of yourself. Get under a nice sturdy piece of furniture, perhaps a desk. It'll keep you safe as there's that circulation.
Yeah,
right
there's more
Elma
hail
16.
around the 400 and Route 20 too, with some rotation too.
I was just told that the power is out in and around Highmark Stadium, so that would explain why that camera was out there. And again, hail reported there earlier. I just checked National Grid and NYSEG, not reporting a ton of power outages, but it can take a few minutes for those to come in. But you have to imagine we will be dealing with power outages with just these strong winds and hail and all the weather.
There's some updates out of Hamburg from the emergency services manager there. Power is out. The town hall's back up on a generator right now. All town employees have been moved to the basement or to a central part of the building away from any windows. He says the storm blew through fast and there's damage. Power lines down East Eden Road at Eckert, Jennings and Yoakum, East Eden, and that general area.
And look at this shot at the 400. We'll take this in just a moment. This is what we were showing you earlier when the hail literally looked like a blizzard. And now there's virtually nothing there. I think it speaks to what we talked to earlier, how quickly this storm is moving through. Conditions change so quickly. And that's, Aaron, when it can get dangerous, because people who aren't, getting alerts on their phone or who aren't watching the news don't know exactly what's coming. And this comes so quickly. I think this is a good reminder. If you know someone who's out driving right now in the areas that are impacted by this warning, call them, let them know, because being out on the roads in a tornado is extremely dangerous, as Mary Beth was discussing earlier.
This is amazing. This just came from Ed. This is from Sean Crotty, right from the Hamburg Emergency Services. Storm blew through fast. The dispatch for Eden, Boston, Colden, and Hamburg. Trees and power lines down at the police department?
No, they responded to that. So
I'll put my mic nice and close to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I just found out that the police department is responding to trees and lines down with damage at East Eden Road and Eckert, Jennings and Yoakum, and then East Eden and Shinsis. But what I found out just moments ago is that all town employees in the town hall or in other town buildings have been moved to the basement or to a central part of the building if there is no basement, away from windows because of the tornado possibilities. Town Hall right now, Hamburg Town Hall is on a backup generator because the power is out.
Wow. So thank you for that. At least they're taking it very seriously. I'm sure it was quite a scary situation there in Hamburg. I don't know if we could take weather 2 real quickly. That is, if we could take weather 2, I want to show you something. Yep. Thanks. Our director saying, give me 1 second. We had a lot going on here with this tornado warning. And I want to see if there's also been an update from the Weather Service. Nope. Still in effect until 1:15 p.m. for central Erie County. When we take weather 2, I want to show you what we call the, it's in kind of a Doppler radar mode, which is actually the true Doppler radar itself. And what you're looking at is, and as I was just about to explain it, the Weather Service just issued their update. No, severe thunderstorm warning now for Erie County, northeastern Erie County and southwestern Niagara County, and that's in effect until 2 p.m. With these cells, though, if you are in those areas, be prepared for some strong storms, strong winds, heavy rain, and possibly tornadoes, because tornadoes do kind of come out of these severe thunderstorms. So you see the green and the red that was right near Blossom. That is wind going toward and away from the Doppler radar at the Buffalo Weather Service. That is where the rotation would be. As we get a little closer to the airport, unfortunately, we get a lot of what we call ground clutter or anomalous propagation, and you can't really see it as well. But that's where that circulation is. Lancaster, Alma over toward Town Line. I know it doesn't look that pretty on the screen, but Bowen Road, if the tornado is still on the ground, it would be in your area, right in this region. Lake Avenue, Aurora Street, Bowen, in Lancaster, over toward Evian Way, Lake Avenue, north of 354, Clinton Heights. So these are areas that need to seek shelter now. And if you're to the northeast of it on Schwartz Road, Pavement Road, near Delwood, Town Line, Ransom Road, Walden Avenue, Quell Run Road, Lane, Cemetery Road, again, seek shelter immediately as this area of rotation, which is right there, that's what you're looking for on the radar, is moving off toward the northeast. And again, now we have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northeastern Erie County.
That's till 2 o'clock.
Yep. You want to take that, Mary Beth?
It includes southern Niagara County, too. So Grand Island, all of Metro Buffalo, surrounding suburbs, too. Williamsville, Lancaster, down to West Seneca, over toward Newstead and Town Line. You're included in this. And we have more storms moving in from the west. And some of these storms have a history of producing some rotation and hail, too, even going up toward Niagara Falls. I'm kind of surprised that it hasn't been extended to include these areas like Lewiston. But if you live up here in Lewiston and Niagara Falls, take shelter too, because there is some rotation around here. These are fast-moving systems that are fast-moving cells that are just evolving in a matter of seconds and minutes. So there's not a lot of time to react all the time. And we have more storms firing up across the Genesee Valley. We're going to be watching those too, because some of those have had a history of producing some hail and some rotation. But right now we still have that tornado warning issued for central and southern Erie County, but it looks like the storm is really moving fast and it's moving out into the severe thunderstorm warning area. So perhaps this storm is weakening a little bit, but it's still strong with extremely heavy downpours right now, going toward Route 20 right now between 354 and 20 here. You'll see some very, very heavy rain here. This is just an extremely heavy downpour just east of Transit Road here, south of Lancaster. So if you're in this area, you might see some flash flooding in some areas.
Yeah, and sorry, just texting my kids to go to the basement as these storms are getting closer to them. And we're watching what looks like this rotation right here moving off toward the northeast. The tornado warning will expire at 1:15 p.m. for central Erie County unless it's extended by the Weather Service. We'll see what happens in the next few minutes. But I'm sorry, Jeff, what were you saying? 190 at Ontario Street. So here in downtown Buffalo, let's take a look at that camera. Again, here's that heavy rain making its way into downtown Buffalo. This is North Buffalo, right along the river as you are going northward towards Sheridan. Visibility greatly reduced in that severe thunderstorm warning. So we have those warnings posted with the severe thunderstorm warning and, of course, the tornado warning, which is in effect for central Erie County, and that is in effect until 1:15. You have these thunderstorm warnings in effect for northeastern Erie County and southwestern Niagara County until 2 p.m. Winds gusting near 60 miles per hour. Buffalo, Cheektowaga, Niagara Falls, West Seneca, NT, Clarence, Lackawanna, Kenmore, Depew, and Amherst, all under that warning area. So expect your weather to go downhill pretty quickly. And we still have the tornado warning, which is in effect until 1:15 p.m. And that's in effect for central Erie County. So we're focused on this area, this spot right here near Elma, moving toward the northeast, near Town Line. We showed you the Doppler radar imagery a few minutes ago on the reds and the greens as one wind going away from the Doppler radar at the airport, another wind going toward it. That shows you the center of circulation. So there's a lot going on inside these clouds with this storm. And
Aaron,
there we go right now,
some new
moving out toward the
rotation,
northeast.
just north of North Boston. This is brand new rotation with some updrafts here, just south of Orchard Park. If you see this here around Route 240, we've got early detection of rotation here.
Yeah,
this is behind that other storm.
Yes, but the cell that is moving out of the red warning box, if we go northeast, that is the one that actually had visible confirmation from spotters that a tornado was on the ground. The warning has not been extended, the tornado warning, but this is the area of concern heading toward the thruway right now, east of Lancaster, west of Batavia, right near that Erie-Genesee County line as it passes through town line and moves off toward the northeast. So we'll have to see what happens in the next 3 minutes or so from the Weather Service if the circulation has ceased and the tornado warning comes to an end. Now you can see also, MB, a little bit of circulation. New event, here we go. Sorry, tornado warning just came out. This one, so you'll see it updated in a second here on the screen. Northwestern Wyoming County, East Central Erie County, Southwestern Genesee County, exactly what we were just talking about until 1:45 p.m. Reported tornado located over Billington Heights or over East Aurora, moving off toward the northeast at 40 miles per hour. This is a damaging tornado right now, right over Billington Heights or over East Aurora, Darien Lake State Park, Elma, Marilla, Pembroke, Bennington, Alden, Attica, Wales Center, and Elma Center. You folks are in the path of this dangerous tornado. Again, take shelter now, take cover now, get to a basement or an interior room. There's the newest warning that just came out. That is in effect until 1:45 p.m. Includes on the 90 near exit 48A, which is just in this area with that Erie-Genesee County line, which we just talked about, as this cell moves off toward the northeast. You have this one that is confirmed. We also have a little bit of rotation right near NT and Grand Island. So we want to keep an eye on that with the thunderstorm warnings for Newstead, Williamsville, Grand Island. There's that rotation. Again, that's Tonawanda, North Tonawanda area, moving off toward the northeast in Wheatfield. Some strong storms.
There's some hail there as well. We've got
Western
some hail
County
moving
too.
through that area, through Grand Island and North Tonawanda right now.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes, Jeff, that is Wyoming County. So we have that tornado warning for northwestern Wyoming County, east central Erie County, and southwestern Genesee County. That is the cell that is moving off toward the northeast, at 40 miles per hour. It is over Billington Heights or right near East Aurora right now. And it is racing to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. It's a damaging tornado. This is weather spotters reporting a tornado. So it's not just on the radar. This is actual visible confirmation right near Billington Heights or over East Aurora.
So we do have on our Storyteller computer, I just looked at it a moment ago, a live shot from East Aurora. It's the East Aurora Advertiser right there on Main Street. It hasn't quite arrived there yet, right? There's the shot. But we'll be monitoring that closely as that's now sort of in the bullseye.
And we do have an update as far as those outages go. As we look back at the NYSEG and National Grid maps, it looks like about 2,000 customers might be without power in the area of Hamburg and Orchard Park. I'm seeing a lot of people talking on social media that their power's gone out. And we know that the town hall in Hamburg is currently without power. They're working on a backup generator.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for those updates. So that's a live view right there of East Aurora right now. And we had the reports of right near Billington Heights, which is close to Knox State Farm and the East Aurora Country Club. So Billington Heights near the East Aurora Country Club, near Moog as well. If you're familiar with that area, there's the soccer fields over there, which is moving off toward the northeast, heading toward East Elma. You have Route 336, Jameson Road, Schultz Road. These are areas we talked about earlier. By Crossroads Christian Church is in that region. Elma Meadows Park, Rice Road, the Elma Conservation Club. These are all kind of landmarks. So if you're near those, take shelter now. Elma Meadows Golf Course. I'm sure the sirens are going off right there. Anybody who's on the course now should get off the course and seek shelter, as we have a tornado that was on the ground near Billington Heights, which was near Greenwood Drive over toward Colony Court, Billington Road, right near the East Aurora Country Club, moving off toward the northeast, heading again toward the 400. So maybe we look at some of those cameras by the 400 and see if there's anything that we'll notice on the screen as this cell is moving off toward the northeast at 40 miles per hour.
looks like it's in town line right now, or very close to it, with a ton of lightning and really, really heavy downpours.
Oh yeah, with this cell, you mean you're going to have a lot of lightning, hail, and also the downpours, where it'd be very difficult to drive through that, as that rain will come down very, very quickly, and you'll produce some flooding as well. So, just be very careful if you're heading out and you happen to find yourself in this, that the flooding will come at you very, very quickly with the amount of rain that's coming down. I'm sorry, Jeff, you said you have a camera shot? Okay, this is from Jason in North Collins on Mile Strip Road, taken earlier. Look at that funnel cloud.
Wow.
Wow, that is quite the scene.
That's
I mean,
incredible.
it's an impressive scene on a camera, but you do not want to see that coming towards you.
Yeah.
A couple of updates here. Speaking with someone in Orchard Park who was also without power, but in Eden, that apparently a barn roof and part of a silo are down, which would match up with what we were talking about earlier,
Perfect,
that this tornado went right through the Eden area. So reports of damage, of course, crews will be out there monitoring all of that. But as we start to get these damage assessments in, and then keep monitoring what is an active storm. I mean, this would be, we don't believe, Aaron, right, that the tornado has been on the ground for this whole stretch, but it's the possibility that sometimes they go up and down and there can be multiple of them at the same time, right?
Yeah, sometimes they do go up and down, but this one's been confirmed on the ground for almost an hour plus. And anytime you have this long-lasting tornado, a lot of times we see tornadoes here in Western New York that, like you mentioned, hit the ground and then they're kind of gone. They're an F0. But if we're getting reports of damage right now from Eden, and we had some damage reports in Arkwright as well, this is a very, very serious situation. Normally, like Michael was talking about, they hit the ground, they're done. They're kind of an EF0. They cause a little damage and they're kind of forgotten about. This one is lasting a long time. And when they last a long time, they're generally stronger. And this is moving off toward the northeast right now. There's that circulation as it moves through town line, heading over toward Alden, Corfu, and Pembroke. The warning is in effect. That's a tornado warning in effect until 1:45 p.m. I'm sorry, what's that, Jeff? Okay, we're going to go to Ed in 1 second. Just want to give you one more update on this storm, and then Ed's going to get us most likely some damage updates. So we have this damaging tornado that was near Billington Heights over East Aurora, right by the Country Club, moving off toward the northeast at 40 miles per hour. In the path, Darien Lake State Park, Elma, Marilla, Pembroke, Bennington, Alden, Attica, Wales Center, and Elma Center. So a heads up, we have a lot of pictures, especially near the thruway, near exit 48A. This is a tornado on the ground. You need to take shelter immediately. Get to the basement. If you hear what sounds like a freight train coming towards your neighborhood, that means the tornado is very, very close. And this thing is going quickly at 40 miles per hour to the northeast as it continues its northeasterly trek. Now, Ed, you've got an update. What's going on in the newsroom?
So, Aaron, you mentioned the area around Orchard Park, East Aurora. I'm now just checking in with NYSEG. There are 20,000 customers without power in the village of Hamburg, the town of Hamburg, Boston, Aurora, East Aurora, Elma, Colden, and the town of Orchard Park. All of that because of what's happening right now with the system that's moving through Western New York. You also mentioned Arkwright, Aaron, where trees are down. There are lines down, some roof damage also in the town of Arkwright, in the Henry Road and Putnam Road area. That's a general area of where a lot of lines have come down. Power lines have come down, trees and some back roads are impassable. Now, when it comes to Hamburg, a little bit earlier, we saw that storm move through. I was just speaking with some folks there. They're down in their basement considering the extent and the magnitude and the veracity of this storm that passed through just a little while ago. I was speaking with Sean Crotty, the Hamburg Emergency Services Manager, just moments ago. He said the storm blew through fast, but that all town employees have been moved to a basement or a central part of the building in Hamburg town buildings, if there is no basement, away from windows to make sure that they're safe. They are on a backup generator right now because the power is out there. Now, I should also point out there are about 3,500 customers without power in the Hamburg area, according to NYSEG. I'm also learning that there are trees down, lines down, damage in the area of East Eden Road at Eckert, Jennings and Yoakum, and East Eden and Shinsis, along with trees and wires down at Keams Lane and Clark Street in Hamburg. I've reached out to the Erie County Sheriff's Office because they're typically the ones that respond to areas like Eden and Colden and North Collins, where we know that at least one tornado has touched down, according to your reporting. It's unclear what the extent of the damage is or how they're responding here. I said I would call back in the next 20 minutes or so. So once I get that update, I'll bring it to you.
Certainly appreciate that. Again, this tornado was reported on the ground near Billington Heights, which went over the 400, moving off toward the northeast at around 40 miles per hour. Places like East Elma near, Girdle Road and Jameson Road, Elma Meadows Golf Course, those areas, Marilla, you want to take shelter now. Iroquois High School, that's in the path. Same thing with Bullis Road, Elma Center, Rice Road. These are areas in eastern parts of Erie County that are under that tornado warning.
Aaron, it looks like there's some hail in rotation on the 33 between Lancaster and Alden right now. So if you're driving in that area, or you're heading in that area, don't go right now because there are some really, really heavy downpours and a lot of lightning as well. You can see it right now going along the 33 and it's heading up toward the I-90 too. So if you're driving on the thruway toward Batavia, you're going to run into some really, really nasty storms right now. These are severe thunderstorms moving to the northeast with hail and some damaging wind gusts as well.
Yeah, exactly, Mary Beth. With the heavy rain, the strong damaging winds, the tornadic activity, we were talking about it all morning that we don't see this threat too often here in Western New York, but it was a very, very large threat for these kind of storms, and we're dealing with it right now. Again, near Elma Meadows Golf Course, East Elma, Marilla, Bullis Road, those areas, you have some time to take shelter, get into the basement. This is not just a tornado that we've seen on the radar. This is a tornado that has been reported by spotters that was over Billington Heights at 111, moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour, continues to move off toward the northeast. So Pembroke, Alden, these are areas under the gun as this cell continues to move near Darien Lake. That's an area that could get clipped. So this warning is in effect for northwestern Wyoming County, east central Erie County in western New York, southwestern Genesee County as it continues to move off toward the northeast at 40 miles per hour. Flying debris will be very, very dangerous if you are caught not in shelter. You may want to take a picture. Just don't. You get by the windows. That's when people get hurt. Most injuries and deaths occur from flying debris hitting windows, and then you're getting cut and suffering from that. We had reports of a lot of power outages, and just looking at the cameras, you could really see the rain coming down. There's the circulation. We have the updraft with the hail showing up on our screen, and you can see what's kind of looks like a hook on the screen as well. So that's where the tornado would be, right near Route 20, moving off toward the northeast, heading over toward Corfu and Pembroke. And then, of course, we have the warning in effect for Erie County, northern Erie County.
There's Pembroke. Yeah.
Oh, look at that, guys. Yeah, so right now, doesn't look that bad, does it?
Not yet.
No, but that should be
give it 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Not yet. It's not really. Is this Pembroke? I don't think it's there yet.
Yeah, that's that busy Pembroke exit.
No,
right
it's not there. It's west of Pembroke right now.
Yeah, so it's just to the west of that near Alden. Yeah, you're right, Michael. That's that busy stop right there, right at the exit. So the rain's coming down. It looks like they're, all hunkering down for what could pass through. And if it were to, it would be in the next few minutes because that cell is just to the southwest.
Yeah, it's going to change quickly because it's moving in that direction. It will change.
Yeah, producer Jeff, keep an eye on that one. We might be going back to that really, really quickly. Again, East Aurora already had the cell pass through. Darien Lake, State Park, Elma, Marilla, Pembroke, Bennington, Alden, Attica, Wales, and Elma Center, throughway near 48A. Those are areas that need to take shelter right now. There's that circulation. We have what looks like a hook on our radar moving toward Pembroke. We just looked at the view there on the throughway at 48A. Didn't look bad right now. That could change in the next few minutes, so Jeff's going to be watching that. We also have the severe thunderstorm warning across parts of Erie County. The hail right there indicating a pretty strong updraft as we have this cell, which looks to be here, moving off toward the northeast. And then we head over toward western Niagara County. You're under the tornado watch. There's NT about to get hit with some very heavy rain. Same thing with Cambria, Ransomville, Lewiston, over toward, of course, Niagara Falls. There's a reservoir right there moving eastward. Pretty quickly, these cells are moving off toward the east around 40 to 50 miles per hour. In that severe thunderstorm, you will have winds gusting near 60 miles per hour. We've had reports of a lot of damage already and expect more damage reports to come in. We had a number of pictures of folks sharing us of what looked like the funnel cloud touching the ground. So expect more on that in social media. We'll continue to keep you updated with that. Here we go with Allegany County. With
It looks
that
like there's
thunderstorm warning in
some
effect.
training of rain, like heavy thunderstorms. So there could be flooding here because the thunderstorms are going over the same areas for the last hour or so here in Allegany County and in Potter County too. These are severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect, and it's clipping eastern Cat County too. But these are strong cells that contain some hail too, very heavy downpours, but we could see some flooding here. Again, there's hilly terrain here, so especially in the valleys, you could get some valley flooding as well.
Yeah, right on, Mary Beth. When they get the heavy rain that's training, like you mentioned, going over. Tornado warning just came out right there.
Tornado warning.
Yeah,
Let's
so you'll
zoom in on
get on that one, and let me get you updated with this one right here. It's a tornado warning that just came out for is that Potter County?
That is in effect till 1:45.
Okay, for 1:45. So Mary Beth was just talking about it. Saw the hail, and then there's that warning right there. So that's for northern parts of Pennsylvania, and then we have the severe thunderstorm warning that just came out. This one for Genesee County. So east central Genesee County, you folks have a warning now in effect until 2:30. So tornado warning there, tornado warning in northern Pennsylvania. Severe thunderstorm. I know I'm going north of Coudersport right now. Oswego moving off toward the northeast, south of Wellsville. Now, Allegany County earlier today, good portion of Allegany County, and also parts of eastern Wyoming County. You folks had the highest chance for tornadoes today. So you definitely want to pay close attention to this one, as that cell has a tornado right now in northeastern parts of just the east of Bradford, north of Coudersport.
Hey, Aaron, I'm sorry, can I add one thing?
Sure.
Because earlier we were looking at the camera in Olean, and I text someone who lives down in that area. They had a crazy storm go through, but this was while the tornado was on the ground. So we weren't talking about it much. And then another round just went through Olean again. So that's a spot where they're in eastern Cattaraugus County and then over toward Allegany County. We haven't talked about as much because tornadoes are more serious than severe thunderstorms, but certainly the possibility for some localized flooding and problems in those areas as well, as we're showing.
Yeah, definitely. And just like Mary Beth was talking about too, with the training where the storms kind of regenerate over the same areas, very hilly there. And, if you're caught just out and all of a sudden you get this deluge of an inch of rain per hour, and then you get another one and another one, you could be caught in a very serious situation with the heavy rain that is making its way through parts of that area. So Allegany County, you folks need to be on alert as you have the warning. And now we're talking about the severe thunderstorm warning, and of course that tornado warning that is just to your south for Genesee and Clara and parts of northern Pennsylvania as that cell moves off toward the northeast. That one for Potter County in north central Pennsylvania is in effect until 1:45 p.m. This is radar indicated rotation. So that's different from what we're seeing here in Western New York. This is near Shingle House, moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So that is Doppler radar indicated right near Oswego in northern Potter County. So we have that one, but let's go back to the one that is on the ground that is impacting a lot of folks who need to take it very, very seriously. And we're going to look at Pembroke again. Let's see if anything's different right now from what we saw a few minutes ago. Yep. Now the rain is starting to come down.
Yeah, it's probably going to get more intense in the next 10 minutes or so.
And then an update just came in from the Weather Service. The tornado was near Alden, near Darien Lake, moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour, damaging tornado, one that's been on the ground for more than an hour. Pembroke, Bennington, Alden, Attica, Corfu, Alexander, Dale, Cowlesville, and East Pembroke near exit 48A. Take cover now.
Darien Lake, you mentioned earlier, busy with people. It's the middle of summer, right? The park, I'm told right now, remains open. I just got a picture from someone who's there, people taking cover. Thankfully, as we were watching the storm on radar, it went what appears to be just to the west of Darien Lake, the theme park.
Okay.
But for people wondering perhaps about loved ones there, the park, it appears, did not close, but people have gone inside. They've gone underneath coverings and that sort of thing. Also, we're seeing more pictures and videos on social media trying to confirm some of these images and videos of tornadoes across multiple communities in our area. And finally, you mentioned Moog. That is one of the biggest employers in Western New York. Just talked with a worker there who said it was raining sideways. It's moved out of there a little bit. But no sort of damage immediately that they were able to see at this point.
I'm glad that, raining sideways and that's a positive from Moog, because that was right near Moog.
Absolutely.
And now it's was near Alden, right over Alden, moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So again, we were watching Pembroke right there as they were dealing with the heavy rainfall and of course the threat for tornado, as that tornado warning now still in effect until 1:45 p.m. So take cover now. That's really just want to emphasize that. You want to be on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you're outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to the closest shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Torrential rainfall occurring in this storm may lead to flash flooding. Do not drive your vehicle through flooded roadways. Don't drown. Turn around. That's what the Weather Service always likes to say. Look at this picture right here. This is from Forestville.
Wow. That's incredible. Wow.
That is unbelievable.
That is amazing.
Look
Wow.
at that.
It looks like a picture from the Midwest, from Kansas.
It truly does. It truly does. It doesn't look like something we see too often here in Western New York, but we are dealing with it today. We did talk a lot about it this morning, that potential was there for tornadoes. And right now we have the warning in effect until 1:45 p.m. And that is in effect for northwestern Wyoming County, east central Erie, and southwestern Genesee counties. Unbelievable pictures that have been coming in
and
throughout the area.
Another thing to look for is those low-hanging clouds, because it's those low-hanging clouds that form into the funnel cloud too, when they're droopy clouds. Definitely there's been a lot of hail around too, some strong damaging wind gusts too. Some folks had some roof damage, I heard, but the lightning is really an issue today too. So lightning can kill you. So definitely you want to get inside and away from any golf courses. You don't want to be the tallest object outside.
No, you don't. Hey, Jeff, I wonder, can we go back to the Pembroke exit? Is it looking?
It looks like there's hail
looks
there
like
now.
the hail. Yep.
Yeah,
So there we go with the
hail.
cell getting closer to that. So if you're in Pembroke, right by the thruway right there, there's a main road over there.
So many cars on the roadway. If you know someone traveling through this area, I mean, this is in the bullseye of this, right? These people should not be out driving right now.
It is in the bullseye of it. They might not know, but you're right. If
call your friends.
Call your friends and let them know that, hey, there is a tornado warning in effect until 1:45, and that cell is near Pembroke right now. It was over Alden, moving off toward the northeast at around 45 miles per hour. So we're seeing it right now near Pembroke, heading toward Indian Falls, right along Route 77. And, to the west, to the north of the thruway right there, Basin, western parts of Genesee County, you folks are certainly going to be under the gun. So any update on the power outages, Michael?
Yeah, I'll look at that right now. It's interesting because earlier when we were getting reports, the maps were showing nothing. And then as Ed was on the air, luckily we got that update. They are certainly beginning to pile up. Though right now, I mean, the National Grid website is saying 155 out in one outage, 517 in another. So not the numbers that we were seeing earlier. I'll check out NYSEG in a second. But yeah, certainly we're hearing Hamburg, Orchard Park, among the communities, Eden, where there have been some power outages.
Yeah, and it's just near Pembroke, right near the thruway exit right there. There's that travel center heading toward Indian Falls. You have Route 77, Route 11.
There's the NYSEG.
Oh, there's
map.
nice.
So we're looking customers without power right now, more than 21,000. So there are two outages. So they group these together. You can see that one right there says 21,000. What does the other say? That's another few thousand there as well. Both of these in the southern part of Erie County. And that's just NYSEG. not including National Grid.
Okay. So number of power outages, again, with the heavy rain coming down, you're losing power. You want to check on your basements as the sump pumps won't be working. Hopefully you have a backup just in case. But again, we're dealing with the power outages, the heavy rain, the gusty winds, and a tornado warning still in effect for the areas shaded in red, which is eastern Erie County, parts of Genesee County, and northwestern parts of Wyoming County.
We're also seeing some hail and some rotation around Lockport right now. Some very, very heavy downpours coming in from the south. That's
exactly what I was just going to say. There's a little concern right there with that cell near Lockport that is racing off toward the east too. You can start to see some circulation there. That looks like it's right near transit in Lockport. So that's an area we're going to watch closely. Ed has an update from the newsroom. So let's get this update, and then if anything else changes, we'll come back.
Okay, Aaron, thank you very much. Just getting an update from Erie County DPW Commissioner Bill Geary. He's telling me now that almost 27,000 customers are without power in the county. I want to break it down town by town. In the town of Hamburg, 9,000 customers. Orchard Park, 7,000. The village of Hamburg, 4,500. Boston seeing 2,500. Aurora, 2,200. Holden, 300. And East Aurora has about 300 as well. Now, I also just got off the phone with Eden police dispatchers. I'm told there are multiple homes devastated, is the word that they used, on Geary Road and Sauer Road. Those two areas all connect. Each one of those streets has a lot of damage there. I'm told that there are roofs on houses that have been significantly damaged. One caller told dispatchers, quote, "My house is destroyed." There's a house that has been totaled, essentially knocked down on Sisson Highway, according to these dispatchers. That caller said that they were on the 9,000 block of Sisson Highway. Again, this is all in Eden. No one has been hurt, though, Aaron.
Oh, Ed, I just want to jump in because while you were talking, tornado warning just came out for northeastern Allegany County, and that's in effect until 2:15 p.m. We had a cell capable of producing a tornado on radar 8 miles southwest of Dansville, moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour, right near Grove and Burns in northeastern Allegany County. We talked about earlier today, Dansville had a high probability for a tornado, and now we have that warning in effect for northeastern Allegany County, eastern Livingston County, southeastern Monroe, and western Ontario County. So getting a little more towards central New York, and that's in effect until 2:15 p.m.
We're also getting some rotation and hail around Gainesville and Wyoming County.
Okay, yeah, you see that there in Gainesville with the rotation. We still have the warning for parts of Erie County, which is eastern Erie County, northern Wyoming County, and western Genesee County. If you just go up just a little bit there, MB, you'll see that darker red that is over Erie County, and that is in effect until 1:45 p.m. That's the actual tornado. Right now, just kind of passing Pembroke, northeast of Corfu as it moves off toward the northeast. We'll see if the Weather Service issues another update, another warning perhaps about this. Now, all of Western New York has a tornado watch in effect until 9 p.m. But right now, if you're in, say, Shelby or Albion, Medina, just heads up that Oakfield, Alabama area as this cell races off toward the northeast around 40 miles per hour. And it's been on the ground for more than an hour now, which is unbelievable for this area as this storm moves eastward. We're watching a thunderstorm between Lockport and Newfane right along transit. Looking at the Doppler radar, actual radar mode, I don't see any circulation in that cell, so that's a good sign. We're seeing some updraft, though, some hail near Lockport, so it's something we're going to watch closely. But we're not seeing a lot of circulation on the radar near that area, which is a good sign. But we are seeing circulation near Royalton over toward Oakfield in Alabama.
I have to mention, Niagara County really took a beating with heavy rain early this morning, and look at all the rain coming in again. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is some basement flooding there at least, because this is a very heavy cell that's been moving through Niagara County for a while now. And plus they got so much this morning, Aaron.
Definitely. They picked up more than an inch of rain in the Niagara Falls airport this morning. A lot of areas in Niagara County picking up close to an inch of rain. Now you have most likely another inch or so of rain on top of the rainfall from earlier, which could cause some basement flooding, especially if the power is going out. And Michael, what do we have, over 20,000 power outages now?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I want to show folks some video that we've gotten permission from the person who shot it to show you here. This is in Eden. This was posted to one of the community groups there. You can see the rotation. The person who took this video told me, I watched it carry debris across 75, seemed to disappear over 18 Mile Creek, around 1 to 2 mile path, give or take. The video, you saw the rotation there, and then it seems to fizzle out a little bit. But it's about a 45-second long video. As it restarts, again, you can see sort of the rotation. Also just got some images. I haven't gotten permission to share these with you yet, but lots of trees down. Very indicative of what we see when the National Weather Service teams go out and survey the damage. You can sort of see a path of trees down, suggesting that, in fact, this was a tornado that made touchdown. There's the beginning of that video, and you can see what appears to be the twister. We can't see the ground there, but that certainly, Aaron, looks like it was touching.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's touching right there. I bet if if you could zoom in, go looking at Monday morning quarterbacking, probably see some debris, like you said. He saw some debris on that, and with the way that spotters were monitoring this storm, that definitely looks like the tornado that was in Eden. We talked a lot about that earlier. Now that same system has moved to your northeast. It's moving very quickly to the northeast at around 40 miles per hour. There's that circulation just to the northeast of Pembroke, moving northeasterly at around 40 miles per hour. We have the tornado watch in effect for all of Western New York, and that is in effect until 9 p.m. So,
Aaron, look at how far this watch goes. So if you wanted to go to Syracuse or Albany or even into New England, most of us are under a tornado watch right now. It goes all the way down into central Pennsylvania as well.
Yeah, that is a huge tornado watch that's posted, like you mentioned, for just about, all of Western New York, Central New York, Eastern New York, a good portion of the area. We have the tornado warning still in effect. Looks like the severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Erie County, that was expiring. But we have some very heavy rain in Western Niagara County near Lockport right now. A thunderstorm approaching Heartland, Royalton. You're going to be under the gun too. And then as we watch these news cells, a new one just came out from the Weather Service. Let's see what this one is. Tornado warning for Allegany County. This is new. This is for southeastern Allegany County. So the one from Potter County there in northern PA. Now we have the warning for southeastern Allegany County. Tornado warning until 2:15 p.m. for this area. This is a tornado on the radar indicating rotation near Genesee, 7 miles south of Wellsville. So 7 miles south of Wellsville, moving off toward the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Again, seek shelter now. Wellsville, Alfred, Whitesville, Andover, Alma, Allman, Standards, and Painesville. Take cover now. Get to your basement or interior room, the lowest floor of a sturdy building, as this Doppler radar indicating that circulation right there. And you can see what looks like a hook on the radar moving off toward the northeast, heading towards Standards along Route 19. That would be the tornado right there on Doppler radar. Look at all the lightning too. Willing, 248, Shango, moving off toward the northeast, heading over toward Independence and Allegany County. So that's southeastern Allegany County. That's a warning in effect, tornado warning in effect until 2:15 p.m. That right now is located near Genesee, 7 miles south of Wellsville. There's Scioto right there as this races off toward the northeast at around 35 miles per hour. We still have 1 more minute for the tornado warning for Erie, Wyoming, and Genesee counties. That's eastern Erie County and western Genesee County. Oh, and here's a new warning. Just came out. This is now a tornado warning. We mentioned this could happen for southeastern Orleans County, central Genesee County, and west central Monroe County. Same tornado that we've been spotting and showing you pictures of. So this one right here, this is now the warning. We mentioned Oakfield and Alabama, that area. There's some circulation moving off toward the east, northeast. This is now moving only at 30 miles per hour. Weather spotters have reported a tornado. So Batavia, Byron, Oakfield, Clarendon, Stafford, the Byron-Bergen area, Corfu, Elba, and Alexander. This area right here has the tornado warning in effect until 2:30 p.m. That's for southeastern Orleans County and also central Genesee County. And now we're also pushing our way into western Monroe County as this cell makes its way over toward Rochester. So just an unbelievably long-lasting tornado warning. This tornado warning initially came out before noontime, and now we're getting close to 1:45, and this warning's in effect until 2:30. We've had a number of reports with damage with this storm, and I expect more reports to come out and more social media pictures to be sent to us as this cell continues to move off toward the northeast. You want to zoom into this area right here near Oakfield, MB, right to the east of Corfu, and we'll take a look west of Batavia. The cell would be right in this area right here, moving toward Oakfield. So if you're in Oakfield, you want to seek shelter now, get to a basement if you can. If you can't, get to an interior room, definitely away from windows, as this tornado has been spotted for now an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, moving off toward the northeast.
It's so
at
close
30
to the
miles
New
per
York
hour.
State Thruway near Batavia, too.
Yeah, so we're talking exits 47 and 48 right now. If you are in those areas, seek shelter immediately. Take cover now as this cell is moving off toward the northeast with Oakfield in the crosshairs, West Batavia along 33, moving over the thruway and moving off toward the northeast. Route 262, Route 98, over toward Byron. But definitely the Oakfield area, as you are really, this cell is just to your southwest, moving to the northeast, just passing over West Batavia right now. Let's find out exactly where the storm was. Located near Attica or Batavia, moving to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. So there's the Alexander area, Attica, right near the Batavia, the Genesee, Wyoming County line, right down there, and moving off toward the northeast near Batavia.
It's moving so fast. It's really moving really, really fast. It's almost moving into Orleans County pretty soon.
Yes. So, excuse me. Southeastern Orleans County has the tornado warning, and that is in effect until 2:30 p.m. So southeastern Orleans County, central Genesee County, and then west central Monroe. So that's a tornado that's near Attica or Batavia, moving to the northeast, moving pretty quickly, like you mentioned, at around 30 miles per hour.
Aaron, one bit of
Aaron,
news to share real fast. Sorry, Mary Beth. County Executive Mark Poloncarz in Erie County has just said he spoke with the governor and the State Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, standing by to assist. At least one tornado struck southern and central Erie County. Damage reported in Eden, West Falls, Colden, and Aurora. Mill Road in Aurora is closed due to trees and poles down. I just shared some pictures. I think we can take those right now. This is the tornado from Eden that I was talking about earlier. We had that video that was showing the rotation. This is the damage that was left behind, and you can see sort of what appears to be a path there as the tornado was moving through. I'm going to pull this information back up. The man, Adam, who was kind enough to share these images with us, took them. He said it's Sour Road, I believe is what it's called, appears to have touched down on or near Jennings and Gary. These photos are on Gary, but he said it appeared that this tornado was possibly on the ground for 1 to 2 miles, going over 75. This is in Eden.
Wow.
This is the video that we had earlier. We could sort of see the rotation. I just got another video sent to me. I'm going to have to try to share that with our producer so we can get it on the screen. But this was taken, obviously, a short while after the tornado had moved through. But what does that image tell you, Aaron, in terms of the damage?
You know what? Well, the Weather Service will obviously go out, but with straight line winds, everything would be in one direction. When you're looking for damage from a tornado, you want erratic tree falling, and that's exactly what we have. Trees in a bunch of different directions. They're all breaking in different ways. So that's what you're looking at right now. So, again, I'm not the survey team from the Weather Service, but it's pretty safe to say that it looks like that was a tornado that moved through. We have the video. You have trees broken in every different direction, which is a good sign that a tornado did come through. And one more time, I'm sorry, there's so much going on. That was in Eden, you said?
Yeah, this is the Eden one. By the way, Jeff Russo is probably now about 5 minutes out from Forestville. Forestville is the other spot earlier where we're pretty sure a tornado had touched ground. We saw some of the images there.
And that's kind of where it started in Forestville and then moved. Look at that. That is one scary scene right there. And then it moved northeasterly about 40 to 50 miles per hour through Western New York. And now let's go back to the weather computer, though, because the pictures are amazing. However, we need to keep the people safe who are in Oakfield and Elba, Cookville. Let's go. I want to go street level right now. MB, I'm just going to take this if it's okay. Just because I'm right here. There's West Batavia where the cell was. And now moving up toward the northeast, right near Oakfield. Let me go street level. Galloway Road, Pratt Road, South Main Road, Lovers Lane Road. If you're in these areas, Edgerton up toward Elba, again, street level in Elba, Mechanic Street, West Avenue. Seek shelter now. Mary Beth, you can have it back. Where we have this tornado on the ground, and it's been on the ground for a very, very long time. And this warning is in effect until 2:30. So at 1:43, you had the tornado near Attica and Batavia, especially West Batavia. And notice the radar kind of hooking right there. That's where that cell is moving eastward. You have some circulation east of Stafford too. All of Western New York has a tornado watch in effect until 9 p.m. But here's the cell right now. Elba, Oakfield toward Batavia, Alexander. It might be just to your north at the moment as this is moving to the northeast at around 30 miles per hour. If your sky turns green, if you hear what sounds like a freight train heading towards you, get in the basement immediately and get away from windows. Most people get injured from flying debris. This storm has a history of a lot of damage, which we've been showing you. It also has a history of causing a lot of power outages. So the power might be going out. Check the sump pump. We're getting a lot of heavy rain with this cell as it moves off toward the northeast at 30 miles per hour. And we could see a lot of issues with basement flooding. We were really talking a lot about this morning, and now we're dealing with the storms across the area. Oakfield, Batavia, into Elba. This area right here where you see the bright reds and then kind of a hook, that's where the tornado would be, just hopping over the thruway, moving off toward the northeast. That was near exit 47 and 48 earlier as it makes its way off
Aaron, I
toward the northeast.
suspect that we have a mix of both tornado damage and straight line wind damage because we've had severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. But you'll notice that a lot of the icons showing those updrafts and downdrafts, which would give an indication that you would get that straight line wind damage as well as tornado damage. So I think there's a blend going on here in Western New York. It's a very unusual situation because the whole area is under a tornado watch. When does that ever happen? Rarely. But this is a rare situation because we've had three elements. We've had the remnants of Beryl bringing in that tropical humidity, that unstable air, and an approaching cold front and a warm front all in our area at the same time. And that's what's giving rise to this severe weather outbreak in our area.
Hey, Mary Beth, as we continue to monitor what is active right now across Genesee County, this is another video we just got permission to use from East Eden. And it does get a little more dramatic here in a moment. You can sort of see some of the debris floating around there. This is not far away from the video that we were showing you earlier, the tornado that appears to have touched down in Eden, where we have reports of barn damage, some vehicles damaged, but right there you can see the debris kind of floating around. Don't have the exact street on this yet, but this is in East Eden. Right there, some of the damage coming in. This video is from a viewer named George who just gave us permission to use that. So again, East Eden, where a tornado went through earlier. I don't know if we can see a tornado on the ground there, but just the debris floating around and circling around, suggests pretty dramatic stuff. I do want to warn, if we can turn the audio down on this, let's make sure we don't play the audio. Sometimes people people naturally will react in real time as this stuff is happening. But definitely confirmed damage there in Eden, also down in Forestville. And as we mentioned from Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz, at least one tornado confirmed in Erie County and damage across multiple communities, tens of thousands of power outages. And the storm, Aaron and Mary Beth, not over yet. Still very active right now.
Very, very active, like you mentioned.
Yes,
so you
it
had
is.
that video from Eden. That same cell is now moving off toward the northeast, moving through Genesee County and into southeastern Orleans County. This area has the tornado warning in effect until 2:30. The cell moving off toward the northeast at around 30 miles per hour. We're watching it right here near Oakfield, Elba, near Batavia. There's the circulation heading toward Byron, Clarendon, so southeastern parts of Orleans County. You folks need to take shelter now. You saw the video. You've seen the pictures. This has a history of being on the ground. It's not just something we see on the radar. We're like, oh, hey, this could be. This is actually happening as people have visually seen it. It's caused a lot of damage and a number of power outages. We have this one. We also want to go to Allegany County if you can, Mary Beth, as we have the tornado warning in effect for southeastern Allegany County, Standards, Independence, Andover, Willig. This area right here along 248 and 19, this shows the hook echo and the circulation very nicely. This has been radar indicated moving off toward the northeast at around 40 miles per hour. So southeastern Allegany County, you folks also need to take shelter immediately. And Ed Dranch has an update from the newsroom. Ed, what's going on?
All right, Aaron, I just got off the phone with dispatchers in Genesee County. You've been mentioning that the tornado warning has been shifting all afternoon. Apparently, a caller has just reached out to them saying that they saw something touch down at Route 5 and 77. They have patrols going out to that area. They don't have any information just yet about any damage, but at this point, unconfirmed that something touched down at Route 5 and 77. Now, I also, Michael, I'm not sure if this is the same video that you've been playing, but I just got some video from East Church Road in Eden from Jessica Seide, and I want to play it for you. You can actually see what looks like that funnel cloud touching down at some point in the distance there. And this again in Eden on East Church Road. This is one of those dramatic videos that we've been talking about, that we've been seeing on social media. Jessica sending that to our Autumn Lewandowski just moments ago. In the South Towns, we're hearing about a lot of damage, about 20,000 plus power outages. I've reached out to NYSEG to try and get an update about when those might be restored or how they're responding to it. No word just yet from them. I've also reached out to the state emergency commissioner, Jackie Bray. Her office now tells me that they are monitoring the situation here in Western New York and are responding on a statewide basis because that path of those tornadoes continue to move, Aaron.
Yeah, and they are moving. Look at that. We have the one in southeastern Allegany County. We also have the cell moving through Genesee County, heading into southeastern parts of Orleans County. Like you mentioned, near Route 5 and 77, near Batavia. They're going to go check that out. Just a number of areas that are under the gun reporting damage right now as these cells continue to move off toward the northeast at around 30 to 40 miles per hour. So these cells are moving pretty quickly. And you need to take shelter immediately if you are in the path of this storm. Yeah, let's take a live picture right now from Leroy on the thruway, I'm imagining, Jeff. There's the thruway right there in Genesee County. What looks like some hail right there, Mary Beth.
Yeah, there's more hail for sure, but it looks like in the distance the sky is a little brighter, so they might be going away from the storm there.
Yeah,
it really is incredible how quickly things turn. The source I was talking with earlier, who works at Moog, said it was raining sideways, and then just literally a couple minutes later, just blue skies. It's incredible. Just to follow up on what Ed reported a moment ago, he was showing East Church in Eden, where it appeared that the tornado touched down there, very close by the other video that we showed you, which was East Eden Road at Hart Road. This is all in the eastern half of the town of Eden, which is generally one of the rural parts of our area, right? But this was also in some spots where this went through a pretty populated area. So obviously everybody's surveying the damage there and hoping that everybody's property is okay and that everyone, escaped without any injuries or even worse. But crews are out obviously right now trying to figure out exactly what kind of damage is there. And the thing that sticks with me is that it's still so active. I mean, we're all still under a tornado watch. And some of the storms, even back over towards Chautauqua County, are now really still popping up. So even outside the tornado areas, just so active.
Yeah, when you see, like you mentioned, Michael, it's a great way to describe it. You're looking at our weather computer right there with shaded all in pink. That's a tornado watch for all of Western New York until 9 p.m. We have the tornado warnings for southeastern Allegany County and also for northeastern Genesee and southeastern Orleans County in effect until 2:30. So we're talking about near Pembroke and Corfu, along where Route 5 and 77 intersect. That was an area, that same area of circulation now heading up toward Oakfield, East Oakfield, Elba. Those regions, you certainly want to take shelter immediately. Then we make our way into southeastern Orleans County near North Bergen, Honest Hill, South Bear, West Sweden, Clarendon, along Route 237, 237 right now, and 262. Circulation is right by you. Elba along Route 262, that would be, near Old Fort Road, Bridge Road. Those are areas where the Doppler radar is showing the circulation, and that storm is moving off toward the northeast around 30 miles per hour. The warning still in effect, and that is in effect until 2:30 for southeastern Genesee, southeastern Orleans, central Genesee, and now pushing into Monroe County.
So in terms of the damage from the tornadoes earlier, we mentioned what's happening in Eden. Our Taylor Epps is there. She was here with us on the air just a short time ago. She's made her way down to Eden and is kind of surveying all the damage there. But meantime, our Jeff Russo is in Forestville, where we showed you that dramatic picture earlier. These are brand new images just into 7 News of some of the damage there in Forestville. And again, some of this, as you and Mary Beth, Aaron, have been mentioning, some of it could be straight line winds, some of it could be the result of tornadoes. It'll obviously take a little bit of research to figure out exactly what happened, but clearly a severe storm moved through Forestville, and hoping that it's limited to these trees. Here is, I believe that says Zom Road there in Forestville. So again, driving through some of the damage there, you know it is an extremely strong storm when it can take down trees.
Just like toothpicks, like just broken down like that. And like Mary Beth was mentioning, some of the storms will be straight line, but you're looking at damage with one tree going left, one tree going right, one tree going north, one tree going south. That's
hallmarks.
Generally a pretty good indicator that a tornado moved through. We saw the video of the tornado on the ground. And again, it's just like snapping these trees with no problem. And now you have the emergency personnel out there trying to clear roads just to make sure everything's safe. You get the heavy rain across the southern tier 2. And that leads to some more flash flooding concerns. The ground is pretty dry, but when you pick up rainfall rates 2 to 3 inches per hour, that rain will come down quickly and doesn't have a place to go. We could see some flooding. Just unbelievable video from Forestville.
One of the things that worries me about this, Aaron and Mary Beth, and if you all can elaborate on it a little bit, is, emergency crews are now out there dealing with damage from before at a time when the atmosphere is still so active. I mean, it really creates a dangerous scenario. That's
a super great point, because look at near in eastern Chautauqua County, some more circulation right there, moving over toward Perrysburg. So yeah, the tornado warnings have expired for Erie County, but we still have them for Genesee, Allegany, and Orleans County, and that's in effect until 2:30. All of Western New York has a tornado watch until 9 p.m. So you had the first round of weather move through, and now we're going to see more storms develop. It looks like a tornado warning right there, that red on the screen, that's in northwestern Pennsylvania. If we zoom out a little bit, so that's a cell that's producing a tornado that's moving to the northeast. Where's it headed? Chautauqua County. Looks like it's making its way toward Jamestown. So we're going to watch all of these cells continue to move across the area, and any one of them at a certain time could produce a tornado, especially if you have a severe thunderstorm warning. That's a pretty good indicator that, I need to pay attention to what's going on, as usually a severe thunderstorm would then produce a tornado. But right now, to the west of Warren, PA, south of Corey, there's a tornado warning, and that cell moving off toward the northeast, heading towards Chautauqua County, with Jamestown right there in the crosshairs. I would say that's about 40 minutes away from you folks in Jamestown. So again, these are moving very quickly to the northeast at around 40 to 45 miles per hour. You have a cell near Hinsdale right now, and still across southeastern Allegany County, east of Wellsville at the moment. There's that rotation that was indicated by Doppler radar, and we still have the warning in effect for central Genesee County and southeastern Orleans County. It looks like most of the activity, though, is to the northeast of Batavia. And then we zoom over here in northeastern Niagara County with some heavy rain. That's just to the east of Olcott and Newfane along Lake Road, moving near Somerset as well. And if we zoom further out, Mary Beth, interestingly, we still have the remnants of what was once a Category 5 Hurricane Beryl, the center of circulation right there along the western end of Lake Erie, pumping all of this moisture into western New York. So this was started on June 28th as a tropical storm, became a Category 5 hurricane, moved into the Gulf of Mexico, moved across the Texas coast on Monday through the middle of the country, and now we are feeling its impact on July 10th. So almost a 2-week-long system that at one point started off the coast of Africa, now bringing us a tropical air mass and also tornado warnings across the area.
Aaron,
So let's get you updated on what's going on with the warnings right now.
Yeah.
Southeastern Allegany County, which is in effect until 2:30. That includes areas to the east of Wellsville. And we head up toward Genesee County. It looks like the warning for Genesee County is the red off of the screen. Yes, so that warning for southeastern Orleans County and Genesee County has been expired. That was discontinued. Our new concern would be to the west of Warren, PA, where you have the cell right there south of Corey, moving off toward the northeast. So
I also think we're going to have some issues with potential flooding coming. Look at this line of storms coming up the same area into Potter County, into Allegany County. And this is very hilly terrain. There's a lot of valleys. You could get some valley flooding. If you live in the valley, you'll get basement flooding for sure. Hopefully your sump pumps are working. But this is rain over the same area in Potter County and into Allegany County as well for the past several hours.
Yes, yes, you're right. Right now, there are what looks like no tornado warnings except for southeastern Allegany County. Southeastern Allegany County, you folks still have the tornado warning in effect. Outside of that one right there, there are no other tornado warnings for western New York at the moment. We are seeing a lot of cells producing some circulation. But right now, the one area of concern, 2 areas of concern, I should say, near northwest of Randolph, southwest of New Albion, right near Conewango, near Ellington, there's some circulation, and Doppler radar. If we could switch to weather 2, and I know it's hard to do on the fly, so we'll be patient. I want to show you when we go to weather 2. Thank you so much. Our directors are behind the scenes, but they are top notch. You see the green and the red on the screen indicating airflow moving toward and away from the Doppler radar at the airports. Now, this is the tornado watch, but this area right here where you see the circulation, Cherry Creek, Axville, Pope, New York there in Cattaraugus County, near 62, we'll go street level, Flatiron Road, Northeast Road, Cheney Road, that's an area of concern right now. So there's no tornado warning issued, but that's what we're looking for on the screen. So we'll see if anything comes out from that. And then the other area that I'm watching is right here. This is an actual tornado warning that is in effect. That's for northwestern parts of Pennsylvania until 2:15, and the tornado watch, of course, in effect until 9 p.m. as that cell also moves off toward the northeast. That is a radar indicated rotation that was near Spring Creek by around 2:10. That's in northern Pennsylvania, right in central Warren County. So again, 2:15 p.m. for west central Warren County, west of Warren, PA, as we watch that cell, which definitely is showing circulation on the radar. You can see the red and the green and the rotation on our Doppler radar, which is really true Doppler radar, where it shows you the actual airflow inside these cells. Now, the same one that I was worried about near Conewango along Route 62 is also showing some hail, which shows a strong updraft, which is also a good indicator of possibly some circulation right there.
Hey,
You got
Aaron,
something? Yeah.
I got a good viewer question probably
Sure.
like 30 minutes ago or an hour ago, but we keep seeing early there with the spinning. That means what? Early indications of rotation? Is that what that
100% is what that means. So kind of like, hey, heads up, watch this one.
Okay.
And then we are. And you saw the early indication. Then you saw a little updraft symbol show up on the radar as well. So that would show you that, hey, this is something you need to pay attention to. Again, the folks at the Weather Service, all hands on deck, are watching this as well, as we have that tornado watch in effect for all of Western New York. You have some circulation possibly in eastern Chautauqua, western Cattaraugus County, now some in eastern Cattaraugus County near Cuba. And we'll heads up in this area too, near Lockport. That's now out over Lake Ontario. So if you're boating, you should definitely be in port, especially an active day like today. But it looks like, as of this moment, we do not have any tornado warnings except for southeastern Allegany County. I am watching, though, this cell that is now pushing into northern parts of Warren County and approaching southern Chautauqua County. Clymer, Bear Lake, Harmony, Sugar Grove. Pay attention. There is a storm with a history of rotation moving towards you right now. So we have a lot of power outages across the area. We've seen a number of pictures of and videos from viewers, which are fantastic. Number of questions coming in. Feel free to keep asking Michael some questions that he can relate to us as we are monitoring the situation. And right now, I'm sorry, what was that, Jeff? Okay, so Ed has an update from the newsroom. Edward.
Hello, Aaron. Okay, so just got off the phone with some officials from NYSEG. We had been reporting there were about 20,000 customers without power throughout Erie County and beyond. That number has since been reduced to just about 7,000 within the last couple of minutes. I just spoke with those folks. They say that they've been working on restoring all of that power in sections. They say that everyone is everywhere at this point and that they're in storm response mode. A couple of things happened leading to that massive power outage in southern Erie County. We were talking about East Aurora, Colden, Collins for some time there with those thousands of outages. Again, that has now been reduced to just about 7,000 customers without power. No word on when that power would be restored. I also just got an update from Eden Police. I'm now being told that at 9035 Sisson Highway, there was actually an extrication that happened. A tree fell on a truck and there was a man inside that truck. Power had to be cut. Police, fire, rescue had to go and extricate that man from the truck. He's okay. We're also learning about a tree that had fallen down on a house. There was an elderly couple inside, but at this point, police, fire, and highway workers are out there on Sisson Highway and other areas around Eden trying to cut down trees and mitigate all of the damage that's been done because of the storm that plowed through. We should also note that in that area, those same highway police and firefighters are going house to house trying to make sure that there's no damage and that if there is damage sustained, that everyone's okay. And we'll keep you posted, Aaron.
All right. Thanks, Ed. Thank you very much for that update. And we're continuing to monitor things right here. Again, this is what we call in our Doppler radar mode that shows you the circulation, shows you the air flowing to and away from our radar. We also are watching this circulation right here across western Cattaraugus County, moving along 62. So this area is East Leon. You want to pay attention to what's going on with the weather as this cell could spawn a tornado. We're seeing some circulation there. And then as we head back up into the north towns, we had that circulation. That was the actual tornado that had been on the ground really since before lunchtime. That cell unbelievably staying a long time, Michael Wooten. We're tracking this for now 2+ hours. We've been live on the air. Usually the tornadoes touch ground and then they're done. This one is going to be something we're going to be remembering for a long time.
And as Ed was talking about the damage there in Eden, that was in sort of the northeastern part of Eden. It was a significant ways south of there where we had the videos earlier where you could see the tornado. I mean, it's very clear that this thing was on the ground for quite a while and causing just a huge stretch of damage. Again, we have Taylor Epps in Eden right now figuring out what's going on there. Our Jeff Russo is in Forestville, but so many communities. That's what's really striking about this. I've covered just a handful of tornadoes in my 15 years in Western New York, and you've covered
just a handful
more.
too, because you know what? I was doing some research, and since 1952, we've had more than 500 tornadoes in New York State. So they happen. They're just not too common. The last one here in Western New York was Java back in July 28th, 2022. So about 2 years. And I do want to get you updated. Southeastern Allegany County, you folks still have the warning in effect. And there's that cell right now showing the circulation near Andover. So this is radar indicated, but right along Route 417 and 21, County Road 22, County Road 21. That's the area of circulation where the storm is going right now. Bynes Hill Road, Swain Hill Road, East Valley Road. Again, that's southeastern Allegany County, which the warning is in effect just a little bit longer as we have that cell moving off toward the northeast, heading over Andover and making its way northeastward toward Hartsville as it continues to move away from Allegany County. But still, Allegany County, southeastern Allegany County, you folks, the only ones with a tornado warning still in effect across Western New York. But we do have the tornado watch. Now, interestingly, the one area that I was watching in northern Pennsylvania in Warren County, want to go back to Weather 2 real quickly. We can say Weather 1 since Mary Beth's right there. I've got Weather 2, Mary Beth's got Weather 1. So that's what we're kind of bouncing around here for you. Now, okay, Weather 2. Thanks, Director. That is, again, we were talking about the circulation with the red and the green on the screen. And as we get right into the cell of this storm, and the warning for Warren County has now been extended. And that is in effect for northwestern Warren County until 2:45. So at 2:14, we had the storm capable of producing a tornado near Spring Creek, and that's moving off toward the northeast at 30 miles per hour. The storm will be near Lottsville in northern PA, and then it hops over into Chautauqua County. So Harmony, you folks, Jamestown, a large city there in Chautauqua County, be prepared to take shelter. If you've had folks out on Chautauqua Lake, a lot of people like to be out there. Hopefully they're not going out right now because of this cell to the southeast of you, southwest of you rather, near Spring Creek, that is showing circulation and hail and is moving off toward the northeast, passing through toward Harmony, toward East Junction, up into Lakewood, Jamestown.
Right by the lake. By the way, on Storyteller, we do have a live picture right now of Chautauqua Lake. As I looked at it a moment ago, it was very clear. But Chautauqua Lake is geographically pretty long, so you can get a few different, shots there. But this is a live look.
I'm super glad we took that live view of that, Michael, because look at blue skies, unbelievable. Things are going to change perhaps drastically in the next 30 to 45 minutes as this cell moves through. You had a thunderstorm earlier near Bemis Point, and now Mary Beth's got Weather 2 ready to go there. And now you have another one with a tornado warning just to your south. So that's from the Weather Service in Penn State. So State College, we'll have to see if the Buffalo National Weather Service also says, yep, we're seeing it. We could have a tornado warning there. So we had the long-lasting tornado that lasted more than 2 hours. That warning has come to an end. That cell has finally exited the area and fizzled out. Now, we're watching other ones pop up. And we had a number of power outages too. You heard Ed and Michael talk about those as we watched that tornado move from Forestville. Really, Eden got hit very hard, and then it made its way over toward Pembroke. I'll be interested to see if we have any pictures and damage from places like, say, Marilla, eastern Lancaster, and then up toward Oakfield. All those areas dealt with some very, very bad weather, with obviously severe weather, I should say, as those cells move through. And again, Allegany County, that one was until 2:15. Here's parts of Allegany County. And look at that debris right there.
This is the Eden video from earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading the bottom. Okay, you're right.
The tornado warning does remain for Allegany County. This is some of the damage from earlier.
Okay,
I'm getting
take it over, Michael. Yeah,
tons of reports of damage all over Eden, from some businesses, some homes, reports of windows blown out. So obviously it'll take a while to get everything confirmed. We want to do that before we let you know exactly, what the damage is like. But obviously very widespread damage throughout the community of Eden, one of, a dozen communities through which this tornado passed through and appears to have done some damage.
Yes, that video doesn't lie right there. And it looked like, too, there could have been a lot of water on the ground from some of the rainfall as well. So that video I'm sure we're going to see a lot of. And now our focus, though, has to remain in Chautauqua County, where just the southwest of Jamestown, you have a tornado warning, Doppler radar indicated, and that cell moving off toward the northeast. So Jamestown, Bemis Point, along Interstate 86, central Chautauqua County, southward. Pay attention to that cell. And now we're getting reports of some more video, and this is from Forestville.
Yeah, our Jeff Russo is down there. I assume in the control room can let me know if this is someone's video, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is Jeff and one of our photojournalists made it down to Forestville. Remember the dramatic picture that we showed you a while ago? So we obviously sent a crew in this direction, showing you some of the damage and also some of the cleanup here. And again, what's so striking to me is that Forestville, thankfully, is a little to the west of the area of concern that Aaron's talking about right now in Chautauqua County, but the threat remains. So obviously all these workers are out there, and we hope that it remains safe for them to do so. But they're trying to restore power. They're trying to clear roadways that have been blocked. This clearly, as you can see from the video, is a pretty rural area. I don't see any structures like homes or businesses or even, barns or silos or anything in this particular area that received damage, thankfully. That is not the case, though, when you go into other communities like Eden, like we believe perhaps in Hamburg and then some other spots. But certainly, these are indications that the tornado went through Forestville. We saw the rotation earlier. You can see from the tree damage there. The National Weather Service, it's interesting, Aaron, how this process works, right? They actually send a team out because Doppler tells you one thing, the human eye tells you something, and then there is sort of forensic weather evidence that's left behind so that they can figure out how strong were the winds, what is the signature like of the damage, especially to trees and other debris.
That's exactly it. So the Weather Service will send a team out there, a trained team, who will be able to determine exactly what happened with this cell. So in Forestville, you saw the video there. It looked like the trees were falling in all different directions. Straight line winds, the trees would all fall in one direction. Tornado, you would have a lot of damage and the trees would be falling in different directions. So they'll go out there and check.
Sorry, just one quick question. I'm just looking at the National Weather Service. So the tornado warning has expired now for Allegany County. This is the first time since we came on the air shortly after noon that we don't have an active tornado warning in our 8 counties.
Correct. Now, that could
Very
change
close by,
in a few minutes. Yes, as we are watching that cell south of Jamestown. But that tornado looks like it took a path from Forestville up towards, say, Brant, Eden, Pontiac, North Collins, and Eden, like I mentioned, near Hamburg, and then over toward by Orchard Park, then stretching toward Billington Heights, East Elma, up near Marilla, and then Alden, near Darien Lake State Park, toward Corfu, Pembroke, and then Oakfield. And then the warning came to an end. So that was a very, very long-lasting storm that, we're just saying that started near Forestville, but could have started southwest of that. That's kind of where we're getting a lot of the pictures right now. And then we have to watch that area south of Jamestown for perhaps another warning. But right now we're going to go to Ed, who has an update from the newsroom.
And Aaron, I'm just getting some new pictures in from New York State Police posting on their Facebook page unbelievable damage from Erie and Chautauqua counties. I want to take this full and show you exactly what it looks like. A number of trees and power lines are down, branches all over the place. This one house looks totally destroyed. I'm seeing a trailer flipped on its side with tree branches all around, power poles flipped on their side as well, with a lot of those twigs and a lot of the debris synonymous with those winds and the possible tornadoes that you've been mentioning. The one thing I want to point out is that there are so many power lines down all around the area. They're saying that if you see one of those down power lines, don't go near it and call 911 if you're in an emergency. Erie County Executive Mark Polencar is just putting out there within the last second or so, Route 240 in West Falls is closed. This is the area near the Aurora and Coldingtown lines. He says lots of trees and power lines are down on the road. A tornado looks to have passed through here. He's asking everyone to avoid the area and is not hearing any reports of injuries at this point. He's holding his phone, kind of shooting this in selfie mode, and all around him there is a ton of debris with these massive trees that have just fallen with those winds and the storm that rolled through in the West Falls area. The thing about what we're seeing right now is that there are blue skies compared to just, perhaps an hour ago when those skies were looking ominous, Aaron?
They certainly were. And, you can have blue skies. We saw blue skies a few minutes ago over Chautauqua Lake near Bemis Point. And then if you look south from Bemis Point, the skies are going to be very dark and very ominous. We have the cell right now that is radar indicated of a tornado in northern Warren County, just to the south of Harmony in Chautauqua County near Sugar Grove, heading toward Jamestown and Chautauqua Lake. We know a number of people who enjoy getting out on the lake, which is beautiful, but you definitely want to take shelter as this cell is racing off toward the northeast around 30 miles per hour. So central Chautauqua County, heads up. We have the tornado watch right now. At the moment, there are no warnings posted for Western New York, but we have a tornado warning in northern PA, and we also have a severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Pennsylvania, just to the southwest of Clymer. Severe thunderstorms can produce tornadoes, so those kind of a precursor. We're going to watch that very closely. And these cells, like Mary Beth, you mentioned earlier, they are training in some spots. You want to explain what that means?
Yeah, it's when a rain goes over the same area.
Is that a new tornado
warning
warning?
just
We
came
have
out.
a brand
Mary
new
Beth.
tornado warning here.
Yep. Warning just came out. Again, we've been talking about it, that right near Jamestown, you could see a warning that might be issued. And here we go. Tornado warning just came out. Let me read this to you. Until 3:15 p.m. That is for southwestern Cattaraugus County, southeastern Chautauqua County until 3:15. A thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 11 miles to the southwest of Jamestown. We've been talking about this, moving off toward the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Radar indicated. So the last one we just went through, that was actually visually seen. You have a number of pictures and videos. This one is radar indicated right there, 11 miles to the southwest of Jamestown, moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Jamestown, Lakewood, Falconer, Frewsburg, Conewango, Ellington, and Leon, all under the warning on Interstate 86 between exits 11 and 16. So again, there we go with that cell. Randolph, you're in there as well. Cherry Creek, Jamestown, southwest 11 miles. That is where the center of circulation is right now, moving off toward the northeast at around 35 miles per hour. Take cover now, get to a basement or an interior room. Definitely avoid windows. We've been talking a lot about that, as there's that cell moving off toward the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Right near Jamestown, right now I should say southwest of Jamestown, 11 miles to the southwest of Jamestown, moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. So with something moving quickly towards you, seek shelter now. We're giving you about a 20-minute heads up as that cell right there moving from parts of Chautauqua County, so southeastern Chautauqua County, southwestern Cattaraugus County. You folks have a tornado warning in effect until 3:15 p.m. So take shelter now. This is the latest warning. This one just came out as this cell moves off toward the northeast from Cherry Creek over toward Randolph and back toward Jamestown. There's the cell, the warning that's in Warren County, Pennsylvania, is going to expire as that tornado hops over the state line and moves off toward the northeast at around 35 miles per hour. This is Doppler radar indicated. We had the last one that you could actually see visually. Folks were spotting it, trained spotters, but this one is Doppler radar indicated with the circulation. There's the radar kind of hooking, and that's where the tornado would be as it moves off toward the northeast, heading over toward Jamestown, moving around 35 miles per hour, and have about 15 to 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so in Jamestown before the cell with Doppler radar indicating rotation will be over your area. So seek shelter now. Call your neighbors, make sure that they're okay. Check on, the elderly, and make sure that they are able to seek some shelter as Randolph, Jamestown, just the eastern part of Chautauqua Lake, under the tornado warning. Shelter in a basement. If you don't have a basement, take shelter in a bathroom or closet, interior room. Use blankets, pillows, and a mattress to shield yourselves from debris. So we have this tornado warning right now. 11 miles southwest of Jamestown is where the radar is indicating the cell moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour.
Hey, Aaron,
so
we have that live camera, by the way, on Chautauqua Lake on Storyteller, if we want to take that in just a moment.
Sure.
the storm, it looks like right now, just to the southeast of the lake.
Southeast of the lake, southwest of Jamestown, about 11 miles, like we said. This morning, I just want to let everybody know, if they're just tuning in, is in effect until 3:15 p.m. Was located, near Lottsville, or 11 miles southwest of Jamestown, moving to the northeast at 35. Radar indicating this cell right there. There's Jamestown. There's the center of circulation moving off toward the northeast. You had that camera, Michael?
It's buffering now.
Of course.
Perhaps a bad signal down there, or internet problems, or power problems, or anything. We've mentioned, as we, again, to remind everyone, continue to follow this active tornado warning right now for a couple of our southern tier counties. We do want to get a quick survey of the damage from earlier, especially in the community of Eden. Our Taylor Epps is live there for us right now. Taylor, I know you haven't been there too long yet, but tell me what you've seen thus far as the cleanup is sort of happening.
Yeah. Well, Michael, we'll bring you here to Sauer Road, where people are dealing with this damage here. These lines are active, which is why we have to stop where we are. But you can see these trees have fallen down on these power lines. But I'm told there are several houses that have just been completely damaged, the roofs torn off. Hopefully, once these areas clear, we'll be able to get down a little further and show you. But the good news is everyone here is okay. They have been evacuated from these homes. But this entire area, so many roads closed off, a lot of traffic lights are out. I'm looking at a house right into the side of me that you can see some of the inside of the home because the roofs have just been torn off. People who are speaking to me, you can see people really emotional about this sweeping through the area. Small town of Eden, a lot of people come out here and live in peace and like to enjoy the great outdoors. But today, Mother Nature just coming through and ripping through this town, tearing trees down, a lot of roads that are closed here. New York State Route 75, you can't get down too far. And what was really interesting about the drive coming down here is, like Ed was mentioning, you saw those blue skies and it just looked beautiful out. But just a couple of minutes ago and a couple of hours ago, a tornado ripping through this area, causing all of this damage here. We're going to try to get down further here and see what we can do and just make sure that everyone's okay and see what else we can show you, both what people are dealing with right now. But an emotional afternoon, an emotional situation here on Sauer Road in the town of Eden. We'll send it back to you for now, but we'll keep you updated as we get more information.
Hey, Taylor, one quick question. As we're following the active tornado warning right now, I mean, that cell is heading in the general direction of where you are. Who knows if it's going to stay a storm, but I wonder if folks there, especially emergency responders, are aware that it's still such an active weather situation across Western New York, and hopefully folks are monitoring on their cell phones, however best they can, to stay apprised in case they need to take shelter.
Yeah, people are doing what they can. You can hear probably behind me, we're right in front of a fire truck and the scanners are going and they're doing what they can to make sure everyone's safe. National Grid trucks are out here trying to clear the areas at the same time, right? They're trying to handle anything new that's coming in and make sure that people are safe and sheltered, but really hard at work trying to make sure everyone's rescued in the homes where trees have fallen down too, Michael.
Yeah, potentially life-threatening, and we don't have a full grasp yet of all of the damage across our communities. Taylor Epps reporting live there in Eden. Taylor, thank you so much. And again, back right now, Aaron and to Mary Beth and Autumn Lewandowski here now, our full team, as we monitor the relatively new tornado warning that we have.
Yeah, so we want to bring in Autumn here. We're on Weather 2 again, if we can. Well, there's the video, and that is from Eden, correct?
Yeah.
So and you were down there, Autumn.
Relatively close.
I was in the tornado warned area.
Wow.
So I wanted to maybe talk a little bit about what to do when everyone's phones start going off. There were people that had no idea what it meant that there was a tornado warning and where to go. So if you don't have a radar app, or if you don't know how to read a radar, I hopefully I helped to make people understand what was going on at that time frame. But again, let's talk about that warning that's in place just so we see where this is going.
Yeah, so there's a center of circulation. I've got this Weather 2 for you as we're going to hand off to Autumn here. Telling people the red and the green, that's where the wind is coming toward and away from the radar. That's where the circulation is. You can see it right there. Jamestown, if the tornado will be over you in about 2:39. Ellington 257, Conowingo 3:03. So you're in the path of this storm right now. We'll go street level, show you where that circulation is. Courtright Road, Wellman Road, all the way up toward Interstate 86 between exits 11 and 16. And The warning is issued because of circulation, like you're seeing right here on the radar. Hasn't been an indication of visual sighting just yet, Autumn, but that storm has these areas in its crosshairs, and it's moving out toward the northeast at 35 miles per hour. You saw, though, in Eden, the sunshine. Now, don't let your guard down, correct?
Yeah, that was the case. We were in Orchard Park going to come back down the 219 to head to Boston where we live, and I couldn't do that because we were within this warned storm. When you have an alarm going off on your phone and saying, get away from the doors, shelter in place, if you are not in a home that has a basement, first of all, if you're outside, get inside. If your home does not have a basement, you go inside the most center portion of your home, lowest level as you can. If you are not at home and you are out shopping, you want to be as far away from any walls as you can be, as much as you can. Center of, say, any shopping center that you can think of. If you're still afraid to be in a big area with a lot of people, going to the northeastern side of any building is probably the best place to be, because usually we have these storms coming out of the south.
Yeah, and we have this tornado warning in effect, and this is in effect until 3:30 for southeastern Chautauqua County and then western parts of Cattaraugus County, as this cell is racing off very, very quickly to the northeast at around 35 miles per hour. So we're watching that area of circulation. And then I was just checking too, another area of concern, we have a cell that's kind of developing just to the south of Buffalo on the eastern edge here of Lake Erie, near Hamburg, near Blaisdell. And thanks, Mary Beth, for zooming in. You can go to Weather 1 and kind of see a better indication of that rainfall. So that's moving toward the northeast too. So got to pay close attention. All of Western New York shaded in pink for a tornado watch in effect until 9 p.m. But when you see the dark red shade, oh, look at that. There's
I was going to say, our sky cam is pointed in that
looking
exact
towards
direction.
the southwest.
Wow.
Look at that wall of rain heading toward Western New York. We have had a ton of damage from Langford, Eden, North Boston, North Collins, Forestville, Eden, though, getting a number of storm reports as the cells from earlier have moved through. Now, that tornado warning in effect, until 3:15 p.m. for southwestern Cattaraugus County and southeastern Chautauqua County. That warning, like I mentioned, until 3:15 for the storm moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. And look at that as we look out our back door with the storm heading toward downtown Buffalo. But our main focus right now, of course, the actual tornado warning. This is Doppler radar indicated from Chautauqua County and Cattaraugus County, Jamestown, Lakewood, Falconer, Conewango, Ellington, those areas. You need to take shelter now as this storm is moving off toward the northeast at around 35 miles per hour.
And everybody has to remember that the tornado watch is in effect for the entire Western New York region and northern Pennsylvania until 9 o'clock tonight. So we are not out of the woods. Even though we're going toward the dinner hour, this is going to potentially extend into the early evening hours until sunset or thereafter.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just going to say to Autumn, because
that's what I was going to
the
bring
vast
Autumn
majority of our viewers have not gotten one of these alarms on their phones because geographically we've only had tornado warnings in certain areas. This is a relatively new feature that we have with smartphones and the way the geography of them works and the technology. It's just the folks who are in these designated areas where you get the very alarming thing on your phone, right? We've gotten them for Amber Alerts and a few other things.
Same sound, yeah.
And folks in the plains and places that are used to getting tornadoes know all of the things that you just walked us through. Folks here are not used to this stuff.
No, not at all. And that's why I tried to be as calming as I could. Sure. And I would show them the radar and I showed them where we were and where that was and the potential of it coming to where we were within the next 10 or 15 minutes. Yep. I said, get away from the doors and the windows. Let's get into a sheltered hallway. And we're fine. We sat down. I had my daughter with me. We were watching the radar. And that's just what you need to do. Don't get too afraid of the situation that you're in. That's why we were talking about this yesterday, to just be weather aware and know that this stuff can pop up. I mean, people end up in very odd situations all the time. A cousin of mine had a flat tire and she was in Elma. And I'm like, you need to get inside as quick as you can.
It's good advice for everyone because, as Mary Beth correctly pointed out, I mean, we're all under this watch, which basically means be on alert, right? Because we don't know which one of these cells is going to all of a sudden develop into some rotation. And before you know it, you could be getting one of those alerts to your phone and you could be in a tornado prone area. I don't know if you can hear this on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
It is pouring right now in downtown Buffalo, a spot where, we haven't been in these areas that have gotten the tornado warnings. But right now there is a cell just over us, and it is just pouring. This is our sky cam right now. This is on top of the tallest building in Western New York, Seneca 1, looking down toward the south, a little bit, maybe southwest, right where, Aaron, you said a few moments ago, there was perhaps some rotation.
There is some rotation.
Yeah,
if you look in the last frame, if you go back to weather 1, there's a little bit of rotation coming into
Is that a water spout right there on the screen? I don't know.
It looks like
a water spout. It does look like a water spout.
We saw the circulation. We said that wall is heading toward us. Tell someone in the newsroom to go peek outside.
That's not even over the water, though, is it? Isn't that land right there?
Yeah, well, once it comes on land, that's a tornado.
What we're talking about here is to the left side.
There is
of the
rotation
highway
here.
Wow. So
this is just south of Buffalo. It's hard to tell on this camera, right? But that certainly looks like.
It could be.
We hope it's not a glare. Okay.
Yeah, it could be a glare. Well, we're gonna go look in a second here and see. Well,
we think
the heavy rain's coming into downtown Buffalo.
Thankfully, perhaps that's just a glare.
Yeah, it could be a glare right there. Hopefully, that is the case because wow, that does look like the heavy rain's coming down. That is for sure. We do have though the tornado warning in effect still until 3:15 p.m. for this area of circulation, which is now moving over Jamestown. We told you it would be there around 2:39. There it is, about 2:40. Moving off toward the northeast at around 35 miles per hour. Doppler radar indicated this one. Again, the tornado watch in effect for everyone until 9 p.m. And then we have this warning that's in effect for southeastern Chautauqua County and southwestern Cattaraugus County. That's in effect until 3:15 p.m. Skies can be blue, and then a few minutes, you'll have very heavy rain like we're dealing with right now in our studios here in downtown Buffalo. That rain is coming down heavily as we look out. You can see City Hall there with some heavy rain here in the metro area. So be prepared for heavy rain today, strong damaging winds, and some isolated tornadoes. We are seeing that with this tornado warning that's in effect for southeastern Chautauqua County, southwestern Cattaraugus County until 3:15 p.m. There's that circulation right now near Jamestown, moving off toward the northeast areas in its path, Conewango. So heads up in that area, right along Interstate 86 between exits 11 and 16. You want to take shelter now as we have that circulation that's moving off toward the northeast at around 35 miles per hour.
Can we try to take that Chautauqua Lake camera? It's no longer buffering, thankfully, although the shot is going in and out a little bit. But it's worrisome. I mean, that rotation is right over Jamestown, which obviously is a very populated area. This is the live camera right now over Chautauqua Lake, and now it's going to buffer on us again. But a moment ago it was playing, but clearly very heavy rain over Chautauqua Lake right now.
Yeah, heavy rain right there. You're right on the outskirts of that warning. Eastern parts of the lake has the warning as we have this cell that we're tracking moving off toward the northeast. Now, Ed's back with another update from the newsroom.
Okay, Aaron, just so that you know and so our viewers know, the reason why we can hear the rain coming down so hard on our flat roof is because we have a flat roof here in downtown Buffalo. That said, our assignment manager, Adam Francis, just went outside to check to see if there was, in fact, that water spout that you had been mentioning, or if it was just a glare in the camera. So we'll keep you posted on that. You also mentioned that there was that warning in the Chautauqua County area. I just got off the phone with Chautauqua County dispatchers. I'm told damage is really isolated to the northeast portion of Chautauqua County. That means Silver Creek, Hanover, Forestville. Trees are down and roofs have been taken off of homes. The dispatcher told me, frankly, that when this system went across the county, Every road was affected here. Strait Road, Center Road, Empire Road. But what we heard is that no one is hurt. Hey, Adam, you're just coming back from outside. What did you see out there?
Pouring rain.
It's just pouring rain. Any water spout out there?
Nothing that I saw. Heavy rain, really humid.
Okay, really humid outside in downtown Buffalo. No water spout that he could see. I'm also now just learning from folks in Erie County and Hamburg that a command post has been set up in Eden, along with Erie County Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Services. Hamburg assets are being used along with Eden assets. It's unclear where that command center has been set up, but it looks like Eden got the brunt of that storm. And Jeff in the control room and Ben in the booth, if you wouldn't mind going back to that state police Facebook page where we're seeing all of that damage in Eden. We're now learning that Sisson Highway, where we saw all of that damage earlier. But what happened on Sisson Highway is really unique. A little while ago, I heard from dispatchers who told me that there was a man in the car, a truck of sorts, and a tree fell on that truck, and that person had to be extricated from that truck. He's okay. Power had to be cut. But as you can see in these pictures, there is so much damage. We saw a barn destroyed. We see tree limbs and branches everywhere, and that trailer of sorts flipped on its side. So again, we are watching these areas, and it again looks like Eden might have been affected the hardest, Aaron.
Yeah, and a new warning just came out, a severe thunderstorm warning just came out for Chautauqua County until 3:45. Severe thunderstorm that was near Wattsburg, or 20 miles to the southeast of Erie, moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Winds in this storm will bring gusts of 60 miles per hour. Expect damage to roofs, siding, and trees. This storm will be passing through Dunkirk, Fredonia, Lakewood, Mayville, Clymer, Long Point State Park, Chautauqua Institution, Finley Lake, Fredonia, and Chautauqua. The thruway near exit 59 and also Interstate 86 between exits 6 and 10. Tornadoes can occur and develop very quickly in severe thunderstorms. So be careful in Chautauqua County. Your weather is going downhill as the cell over northwestern parts of Pennsylvania, now moving to the northeast, doing so at around 35 miles per hour. So,
Aaron, just to point out the obvious to some people, this is the path of what the other storm took. I mean, look at Forestville right there at the top end of this new severe thunderstorm warning area. Places like Fredonia and Dunkirk. I mean, these are the spots that just got hammered right around noontime.
Yep.
And here it is less than 3 hours later, and they're going to be right back in the path.
So we saw Taylor live from Eden with blue skies, but if you're in Eden, you're looking toward the southwest, the skies are looking ominous again. So if you are helping people, be careful and be prepared to take shelter again, as we are under that tornado watch for all of Western New York until 9 p.m. Notice some circulation showing up on the screen across parts of Wyoming County. We have a little circulation there in central Erie County. So we are not done yet. It might be fine in your neighborhood. Skies might be blue, but be weather ready for the next several hours as this watch is in effect until 9 p.m. The air mass is very saturated. You heard our assignment editor go outside. Adam Francis said it is so humid outside. We had that wall of water just move through downtown Buffalo, and now we have another severe thunderstorm warning, and we have that tornado warning still in effect until 3:15 for eastern Chautauqua County and western Cattaraugus County. And Autumn's here, and you're monitoring what's going on too. You want to give us the latest on where that circulation is?
Okay, so where we have the tornado warning, that is through 3:15 for the eastern sections of Chautauqua County. I'll zoom it out just a little bit so you can get, if we go into weather 2, I'll talk a little bit about the rotation that we're seeing, again, with what's coming into the radar and what's going away from the radar. And when you have them both together, that's where you see that rotation. And this is still showing on the Doppler radar that there's some early indications of we have rotation still within this storm. So eastern and central Chautauqua County, western and central Cattaraugus County, between Jamestown, Conewango, just south of Charlotte as well. And I'll put a little bit of timing on this too. So we had it about 35 mile per hour moving to the northeast, just about 35 miles per hour. It's kind of looking like it's more on that western edge of this cone. So I would say it's just north of Jamestown at this point. and Cherry Creek a little after 3 p.m., Leon 307, South Dayton at 312 or so. And again, this warning going until 3:15. We could go back to weather one. This is where we have storms one after another. The severe thunderstorm warning for Chautauqua County. That's between Sherman and Harmony, Chautauqua, Stockton, Forestville. We have Mary Beth that's moving these through the motions as well. And again, we were talking about this earlier. Michael saying we were watching these at noon. The training, the storms that are going one after another. Mary Beth, did you want to talk a little bit about that again? Oh, sorry, Mary Beth, we got to get your mic on first.
Battery might have ran out.
Yeah, battery
We've been on
could
for a
have-
long time. Yeah.
Oh, I just had it off
Okay.
for a second, but it's just repeated storms over the same area. So you got one storm moving through, then you get another one. So the rain just keeps adding up and it produces flooding eventually because the ground becomes super saturated. And we saw that earlier in Niagara County this morning. They got so much rain and then they got storms for about 2 hours this afternoon. So I can imagine there's basement flooding at least, and maybe some flooding along some of the roadways and the underpasses too, under the viaducts. So you just be careful when you're driving around tonight, even when things end, because there's a lot of water around Western New York from these storms moving through today.
Exactly. And they're very isolated where they're not huge cells, but they are moving quickly and they pack a punch as well. So that severe thunderstorm warning for Chautauqua County is in effect until 3:45. The potential of 60-mile-an-hour winds is possible within that. The tornado watch is for all of Western New York, including northern Pennsylvania. That is through 9 p.m. tonight. And we have the tornado warning for Chautauqua and Cattaraugus County. That is until 3:15, one that we are continuing to watch. There are early indications of rotation within all of these cells that you can see between Rushford and Arcade. Aaron had mentioned that one earlier, that's moving into and through the central sections of Wyoming County. This also has torrential rain within them as well, headed right towards Warsaw, very close. Well, there's a cell just a little further to the east that's just near Letchworth as well. So if you have plans, if you have family members that are at some of these bigger state parks like Letchworth or Allegany, there are several that are in Niagara and Orleans County as well, where they have a little bit of a lull happening. We still have rounds of rain to come on through as these move from southwest up to the northeast, going through the next several hours. So there's a lot to talk about.
Well, Autumn, I gotta just look at the line going through the Rochester area. This is all headed for the popular Finger Lakes, a very popular summer vacation spot. And it almost looks like there's a severe weather outbreak heading in that direction, or they're on the leading edge of it right now, because there is a line of tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings extending from Geneva all the way down to Bath right now.
And that was just exiting through Western New York. So now it's dealing with, there's more heat. We're in the middle of the afternoon. It has a lot to work off of. I mean, this air mass, you can cut it with a knife. And anytime we've got all of that together, we have a warm front that all of these storms are able to lift up on, and a cold front not too far away. So we have a lot of the right ingredients to get rotation and lift, and the potential for these storms not only to turn severe, but then also to have an impact of potentially turning tornadic as well, and especially into the Finger Lakes region right now.
And there's more coming up from Pennsylvania. Look at how these storms are just igniting almost out of nowhere, but the atmosphere is so ripe for thunderstorm development that these storms are just created. All that lift in the atmosphere is bubbling it up and creating these strong to severe thunderstorm cells that can even turn into tornado warnings as well, as we've seen so far.
Speaking of which, the tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So we are tornado warning free across the area. Tornado watch still in effect until 9 p.m. And we have the severe thunderstorm warning that's taking up a large chunk through Chautauqua County, all the way from I-86 right up to the 90 near Dunkirk, as well as that cell continues to move. We have just between Chautauqua, Jamestown, up to Stockton. The potential to have some hail is in there as well, but it's a very warm air mass. One that, I mean, we have the updraft to kind of get hail to be a part of this, but primarily it's the damaging winds and the potential for the rotation and tornadic activity.
Autumn, just look, there's a brand new cell coming into just south of Sherman in southwest Chautauqua County. Let's see what this guy does as it moves to the north and to the east, but it already has signs of rotation in here.
And it's just like one after another.
All of them have been. Yeah, this reminds me of my Macon, Georgia days.
Yeah.
We were covering Hurricane Katrina, and there were bands, outer bands of Hurricane Katrina that were just coming through, and one after another, they had very long-lasting tornadoes that came on in. And I know that you were tracking this again with Aaron earlier with the one that came through Eden, and that warning was in place for nearly 2 hours. So it kind of gives me the reminiscence of, you know, you're in the right environment. These storms have a easy way to continue to have lift, and they've got the moisture, the heat, they've got everything they need in order to survive. So we're going to again continue to watch this severe thunderstorm warning between Clymer and Sherman. The one that Mary Beth had just mentioned with the potential of some hail is in there as well.
Yeah, it doesn't look like this is going to expire anytime soon because we got that new cell coming in from Pennsylvania just near Sherman, but we're also seeing some hail, signs of hail, a little bit of rotation. Also near Sinclairville too, there are signs of some hail and rotation as well. So there could be even some straight line damaging wind gusts as well.
And Forestville, I mean, two of the little cells just went over there.
Yes.
Forestville, one of the spots where we had a confirmed tornado earlier in the day. So again, part of the worry, I think, as we go into the late afternoon hours is that this is that picture from Forestville earlier, is that so many people are out right now surveying the damage, you know, in some cases, perhaps, you know, making sure everyone is safe as we look at these images. This is from Forestville earlier that our Jeff Russo took, that people need to remain on guard because one of these cells can pop through there. And even if it's not tornadic, right, I would say, Autumn and Mary Beth explained to us, I mean, severe thunderstorm warning is a serious thing.
Yes, it is.
And can be damaging.
Yeah, and lightning is very deadly too. People really need to take caution when there is a lot of lightning around. I know it's fascinating to see, but lightning can kill people. It really can, because if you get electrocuted, you're a goner. So you want to stay away from windows and certainly get indoors. And again, stay away from the glass, stay away from the windows, and don't ever stand underneath a tree, because you become part of the tree. And if that tree gets electrocuted, so do you.
Yeah, you don't want to be outside during any of these storms right now, especially for Chautauqua County, where we have the severe thunderstorm warning until 3:45 p.m. So 60-mile-per-hour winds can do a lot of damage, just like a tornado, a very weak tornado can, but it's just not spinning. And when the National Weather Service goes out and they survey the damage, not only do they look at how much damage it did, but what kind of damage. Are the tree limbs twisted? Are things kind of fallen in a straight line? That way, when they go out and you have these trained eyes looking at everything, they can say, okay, this wasn't a tornado. This was straight line winds. Tornadoes also tend to go up and down. So if it's in a straight line, but you're also still seeing the twisted tree branches, and then one spot looks like, hey, nothing was touched. And then a few maybe yards later, something else was kind of ripped apart again. That's an indication that, hey, we're dealing with a tornado opposed to straight line winds, but both can do a lot of damage. And not only are we talking about winds, but we're talking about very torrential, heavy rain. So that could flood streets fairly quickly. You're not seeing where you're going. If you're on I-86, I mean, there could be not only ponding on roadways, but you might not even be able to see where you're going with how heavy some of these cells are producing rain right now.
Yeah, this is kind of like a severe weather outbreak for us, Autumn. When do we ever see tornado watch for the whole area until 9 o'clock at night for so long. And all these multiple severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings that we've had, and they're not over just yet.
Right. And the fact that we were slight to enhanced threats of severe weather from the Storm Prediction Center isn't something that we typically see very often either. Usually we have that 2 or 5% chance of tornadic activity. And then through the Finger Lakes, it was even higher than that for this afternoon. So we knew going into today that we could really be in for a long haul and even popping up sooner before noon.
Right, exactly. It started early this morning, even before 6 a.m. in some areas. Well, you know, another thing is we rarely are in the excessive rainfall outlook. We've been in it twice already in about 2 weeks. And this time we were in a moderate or a slight risk. Before it was a moderate risk or a marginal risk a couple weeks ago. But there has been a lot of rain across portions of Western New York today.
As we continue to monitor this current severe thunderstorm warning, again, no tornado warnings at the moment, but a watch for all of Western New York. I want to toss it out right now to my colleague Taylor Epps, who's been monitoring what's happening in the Eden community. She has now moved locations. Taylor, what is the latest that you're seeing out there in Eden right now?
Well, Michael, every street we go down is just another scary scene. But thankfully, everywhere we've gone, we've asked officials, and it seems like everyone is okay. Just a couple of hours ago, I'm told there was a truck that was hit by one of these trees that are down in the middle of, this is State Route 75 here. There was a truck and there was a man trapped inside after one of these trees fell on his vehicle, but they were able to get him out safely. Luckily, everyone has been okay that we've been able to check on, but we're not able to get much closer. As you can see, there are power lines down here, and this road completely blocked off by the trees that are down after that tornado came through this area. We were trying to get around to see if there's those homes that we spoke about before, several homes apparently with roofs that have been just torn off. This entire community, the tornado just ran through here, leaving all of this damage for these people to have to deal with. This is a heavy farming community. There's a lot of animals. We did see some goats around here earlier that were walking around. Everyone does appear to be okay, but a lot of people just forced to pick up the pieces. On that street that we were on earlier on Sauer Road, there was a woman who was on vacation in Florida, enjoying her time. It took her forever to actually get back here down to her home here in Eden, but then family picked her up from the airport, and she came back down here to find that her roof has just been ripped off of her home. So a lot of pieces to be picked up here by the community here in Eden, and a lot of emotions and a lot to be dealt with. But we're going to try to bring you some more of the scene here and what's going on in the area. But right now, crews just doing everything they can to try to restore power and to try to make sure that everyone here is safe in Eden. Michael?
We'll continue to check in with you, Taylor. Thank you so much for that. And again, yeah, Route 75, it is Sisson Highway in that part of Eden, but Route 75 is a main north-south artery through that part of southern Erie County. And right now, it is closed from Schnisius Road, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, down to East Church Street. At least that section closed off. And so that's impacting a lot of people, even beyond just the damage, having Route 75 closed for that stretch. But obviously, crews have their hands full all over Eden, and also North Collins and in Forestville, where our Jeff Russo is, and so many communities across Western New York, from the storm that went through, from the tornado that touched down just a few hours ago now, as we continue to see these cells pop up. I mean, you look at radar right now, Autumn and Mary Beth, and you never know which one of these cells is going to all of a sudden become a severe thunderstorm or is going to become a potential tornado. And so that's why you see at the bottom of your screen right now, tornado watch for all of Western New York. That means everyone in our viewing area right now needs to be on alert, because you just don't know which one of these cells could turn dangerous and could do so very quickly.
That's right. So the watch, all of Western New York, that just means be aware that any storms that become severe could also potentially have some spin within them and turn to a tornado warning. There is a severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect for Chautauqua County. This goes until 3:45 p.m. It's a long county, and it's right from Sherman and that southwestern edge of Chautauqua County all the way almost up to the tippy top of Chautauqua County as well. One that we'll continue to watch, the potential of 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts is within this as well. These storms are moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. Locations on that northern fringe of this is between Dunkirk and Fredonia and even Lakewood. Center of Chautauqua County, Mayville, Clymer, and then Finley Lake and Fredonia, and also Chautauqua. So this portion of this storm, I'm going to move this in just a little bit if we can, and show exactly where I'm talking about within that severe thunderstorm warning. So Clymer, I-86, Chautauqua Lake, from one edge to the other. It had a very strong cell that had pushed through just to the west of Jamestown, and now the other one that was near Sherman, still showing, Mary Beth was talking about there being some rotation within this cell that was near Sherman that is continuing to show some rotation. Nothing has been put out yet, but the fact is we still have a severe thunderstorm warning in place with the potential of 60-mile-per-hour wind gust going to be possible. And not only that, but torrential rain with it as well.
Yeah. You know, Autumn, it looks like there is a severe weather outbreak in the Finger Lakes right now, if we could zoom it all the way out. Because look at this. This is a line that encompasses the Lake Ontario shoreline all the way down to the Pennsylvania state line, with numerous tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings. So this is a very volatile situation that continues to move east. And you can see all of New York State, pretty much all of New York State up into the Adirondacks is included in this tornado watch till 9 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, and I just heard that we had the governor that was going to be speaking. Are we going to that right now, or okay? Let's go to hear what the governor has to say.
It's continuing to deteriorate. Batteries, flashlights, food, medicine, and talk to your family about where you'll go if you need to evacuate. And there's other specific warnings related to if a tornado is coming to your area as well. We're providing that information. So we will get through this together. New Yorkers, we always do, but remember, it's not just you and your family. You have neighbors. Look out for individuals, our senior citizens who are very vulnerable. Make sure you take care of your pets. And again, this is a trifecta storm that's hitting us right now as we stay safe and continue monitoring the situation very closely.
All right, we have the commissioner here if we have some on-topic questions about the veterans and the housing from today. All right.
All right.
Can we do it? Can we give him some off?
All set?
Does anybody have a question for the governor?
Okay, if you don't, okay.
Chris?
I'm Chris McKenna from the Journal-Post. I wanted to ask you about Congressman Pat Ryan today making a public plea for President Biden to step aside for another Democratic presidential candidate, saying he's not the strongest candidate. I wanted to get your reaction to that and see if you have any concerns about the potential down-ballot impact on candidates like Pat Ryan if President Biden doesn't perform well in New York.
Every race is run on its own, and I'm working very hard as the leader of the state party to ensure we have the resources, the personnel, the grassroots
All right,
campaign.
there we go. We've been listening to Governor Kathy Hochul. This was actually a news conference on a different topic, but obviously the governor there mentioning the severe weather that is impacting not just Western New York, but as Mary Beth has been telling us, the Finger Lakes region right now. Also, look at the North Country up to the northeast of Syracuse. I mean, just a huge swath of New York State right now, right in the bullseye. This is the remnants, believe it or not, of Hurricane Beryl, which has caused so much damage stretching from Texas over toward the Midwest and now moving here into the Northeast. There were confirmed tornadoes yesterday in Indianapolis, for instance. And now, of course, we have tornadoes here in Western New York today. As the region is sort of surveying the damage in communities like North Collins and Eden and Forestville and other places, we're continuing to monitor the active weather that remains. This is video from earlier, just to catch everyone up. from Eden, and you can see some of the damage being, or at least the debris being strewn about there. There are several spots of Eden, especially the eastern half of the town, where there are roads that are blocked right now, where there is damage to homes, there is damage to farms, to vehicles. There have been some rescues that have taken place. There are a lot of roads that remain blocked from so many trees that went down. And this was from a tornado that swept through almost 3 hours ago. Yet here we are, no active tornado warnings at the moment, but we have a tornado watch for all of Western New York. And we still have this severe thunderstorm warning right now in Chautauqua County. And as our meteorologists have been telling us, a severe thunderstorm warning can be very dangerous. You can get straight line winds, you can get hail, you can get lightning, very heavy rain, flooding is a possibility. And also, a cell can turn tornadic very quickly. And so we hope everyone will stay on alert throughout Western New York, including all of those first responders who are out there doing important work, making sure that people aren't trapped in homes or vehicles, for instance, and trying to get roads reopened, trying to get power restored. We can let you know that power restoration efforts have been pretty successful thus far. There were more than close to 25,000 homes without power at one point earlier today. That has now been reduced down. At last check, it was about 7,000. Although it is possible we will see more power outages in the coming hours as these storms continue. But right now, let's get you updated with Autumn and Mary Beth on this severe thunderstorm warning right now. You can see the yellow shaded area there in Chautauqua County. What is the latest with that, Autumn?
Well, we still have 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts as a potential with the storms that are rolling through that area. It's moving to the northeast at around 35 miles per hour. There could be damage to roofs and siding and trees. The locations, again, all that you see between French Creek and Jamestown, Charlotte, Dunkirk, Mayville. This is straight across Chautauqua Lake as well. Chautauqua Lake actually had a little bit of a break, but the one that's near Mena or Sherman, that's going to end up moving across Mayville, that western side of Chautauqua Lake. So again, we're watching this through about 3:45 for the severe thunderstorm warning. And I believe Ed has an update as well.
Autumn, this is breaking right now and just into the newsroom. I'm just learning from Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz, the town of Eden is now under a state of emergency, which realistically opens up some funding to be allocated for the town of Eden because he says significant damage has been incurred at a number of farms, especially barns, which he says are a total loss. Animals are injured, he says, but thankfully there are no reports of any human injuries. So just to reiterate, it seems like the town of Eden hit hard as we've seen a number of buildings, especially on Sesson Highway, that have been destroyed. And we've heard reports of people being trapped in cars, trees falling on trucks, and people being extricated. The town of Eden now under a state of emergency, according to the county executive. Moments ago, Governor Hochul was speaking about the storms that continue to roll through Western New York. Statewide, she says the Emergency Operations Center is open. There are 4,000 road workers that have been deployed, along with 6,000 power crews all across New York State, along with 9 swift water rescue teams from the Department of Environmental Conservation if, in fact, floodwaters were to rise with all of the rain that we've seen. She's suggesting we stay vigilant and not to visit those areas that are affected, especially in places like Eden, where we know power lines are down, trees are down as well, and those power lines could very well be live. Now, Michael, you mentioned particularly those outages, those power outages that we've seen from NYSEG. At one point, there were more than 20,000 outages that since has been reduced. A little while ago, it was down to just about 7,000. It's then spiked up to about 9,000. So we're watching that very carefully. The governor has spoken with Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz, though the details of that conversation is unclear. As you can imagine, though, considering the town of Eden is now under a state of emergency, there's going to be some coordination between the county, the town, and the state, Michael.
Yeah, no surprise there, Ed, with Eden really being in the bullseye. We have these videos and pictures from earlier. Our Taylor Epps has been down there blocked from getting to sort of the worst of the damage because there are roads that are impassable right now, include Sisson Highway that Ed mentioned there. That's Route 75. A lot of people know it. It's a very busy north-south roadway down through the Eden community and parts of southern Erie County, blocked right now. So the breaking news there that Ed brought us, though, there is now a state of emergency in the town of Eden, which really took the brunt of this storm. Also Forestville, though, our 7 News anchor, Jeff Russo, is in Forestville. We believe we're going to get an update there from officials coming up within the next hour. So we'll bring you, here's some video from earlier. You can see one of the Forestville volunteer fire departments there on scene. They've also been trying to clear roadways, a lot of trees down. This is one of the communities where the tornado was spotted actually touching the ground. We don't know, and we won't know for some time, exactly how long this tornado or these tornadoes actually, made touchdown. But clearly a lot of damage there. This is some video that we got earlier on Zom Road. For the most part, this is a relatively rural area. That's obviously good news because there's less of a chance of severe damage or loss of life. But we do know that there are some structures that have been damaged, along with so many roadways blocked. And as you saw there, crews are facing not only the difficult task of clearing roadways and make sure everyone's safe, but also trying to stay alert in case they need to seek shelter, because we all remain under this tornado watch until 9 o'clock tonight. So Autumn, that's sort of the latest on the cleanup efforts. In the meantime, we're continuing to follow the radar right now and the potential for more of these severe storms.
Well, from what I'm seeing right now, I believe the severe thunderstorm warning for Chautauqua County has been dropped at this point. So we have the tornado watch in effect for all of Western New York. I guess what I wouldn't say concerning, but what we have in place right now is we have these storms that are rolling through, but I put a satellite shot on this as well. The fact that we still have a lot more sun that can still be here and heat things up in between these storms coming through gives still this great environment for these storms to become severe. So again, that tornado watch is until 8 p.m. It doesn't mean that every storm that we have come through will spawn a tornado, but it does mean that we could have severe thunderstorms, number one, and the potential of those severe thunderstorms to turn into tornado warnings is there as well. And again, that's through 8 p.m. Any of these storms that are coming in are packing a punch, especially with a lot of rain. There have been a lot of lightning within these as well. The line that is cutting across the Finger Lakes has caused some issues and power lines down and things like that. I believe I saw one in Canandaigua that power lines were down there as well. We have the tornado watch. Tornado watch until 9 p.m. I don't know why I kept saying 8 p.m.
That's okay.
I have it written down as 9 p.m. too to remind myself.
I heard you say 9
You're
p.m.
hopeful.
earlier. Yeah. But
I do want to mention, though, they're trying to clean up Eden, but look what's on the way. More rain. It looks like they could see another heavy cell within the next half hour or so as the storm moves up from Chautauqua County. So all thoughts and prayers go out to Eden late this afternoon.
Yeah, and I thought it was great what you were talking about, Autumn. That's what I came in to mention, is that with these satellites showing a lot more sunshine, don't let your guard down just yet. And that's in Weather 2, if we want to take that one. Weather 2 showing the clearing. And anytime you get the clearing with a situation that we have, then we get the sun, destabilizes the atmosphere, makes things more unsettled. And we have sun from Buffalo back toward Cleveland. And that sun is just going to make things more unstable and allow for some more storms to develop. You're seeing the storms popping up across the area right now, and expect storms to become more numerous as the afternoon moves along. There's a lot of shear in the environment, which basically means the winds from the surface and aloft are going in different directions, and that's helping the spin in the atmosphere, which is then leading to the severe storms and also the tornadic activity that we have. The tornado watch in effect until 9 p.m. today. There we go right there. and notice some circulation in some of these cells, but we do have these storms popping up. Some areas have sunshine like you just saw on our satellite and radar. Other areas dealing with the storminess, some more storms heading toward Eden right now, and that tornado watch in effect for all of Western New York until 9 p.m. Not much from Buffalo to say central Lake Erie, but that sun destabilizes the atmosphere, makes things more unsettled, more unstable, and gives us the better chance for severe weather. So be prepared. We have a lot of tornado warnings across the Finger Lakes. Right now, there are no warnings, no severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings in effect for Western New York. However, that tornado watch is in effect until 9 p.m. And Autumn, we are tracking some cells right now across southern Erie County and especially into the southern tier.
Yeah, Mary Beth was just showing us that as well. So the warning that was in Chautauqua County has been dropped. We're still dealing with heavy torrential rain with these between Jamestown, I-86, coming along the 90 at this point. This will be working its way up towards Dunkirk. And then southern Erie County. This is primarily more so along that western edge and along the 90 between Silver Creek and coming towards Eden yet again. And then that would even push up to about, I was going to say maybe Mile Strip Road to about Blaisdell or so at this point. And again, about 30 or 35 mile per hour movement with these cells. So they're moving fairly quickly, but they pack a very big punch during that time frame. Route 20, Route 5, the 90. And again, between Eden and Hamburg, watching that cell that has a little bit of that early rotation there too.
And a little bit of hail now around Eden again, Autumn. Do you see that in the last frame here? We have a little bit of rotation and some hail near Eden.
Yeah, just because they're not severe doesn't mean they're not strong.
Yeah, and the worst of the damage appears to have been in the eastern half of Eden. This appears to be maybe in the western half. So
this is the western half.
Certainly hope so for sure. But if we take our sky cam, if we can in a moment, it is looking down toward this general direction, and it kind of gives you a sense of the very heavy rain and the ominous storm clouds and all of that we're seeing. If you look on the left side of your screen, that's looking toward the south. So yeah, the storms just continuing, even though at the moment we do not have, and this is the first time we haven't had an active warning, either a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning all afternoon.
Yeah, that is correct. We have the tornado watch until 9 p.m. And there are several warnings that are taking place throughout the Finger Lakes region, but that is extended out and past Western New York. So we're going to continue to watch these very singular cells, but again, ones that pack a big punch with torrential rain and lightning within them as well. But nothing in the severe category, which would be 60 mile per hour winds within them at the moment.
Again, that tornado watch continuing for all of Western New York until 9 o'clock tonight. If there is another tornado warning, which is very possible, we will immediately come back on the air. We encourage everyone to follow us on our social media channels on WKBW.com. There is going to be a 4 o'clock update from Chautauqua County. We'll be carrying that live at WKBW.com and on our app. And again, if there are any warnings in terms of a tornado warning, we will hop back on the air immediately and keep everybody updated. For right now, though, I'm Michael Wooten here at 7 News. Our thanks to our meteorologists and everyone part of the news team for the past 3 hours of coverage. We're going to return you right now to regular programming. We'll see you at 5 o'clock tonight, if not before.